QAF to talk to Neil. Call 567-0560. Toll free in Dade and Broward. Or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests and callers do not necessarily represent those of the Beasley Broadcast Group, its staff, advertisers, or agencies. Now, here's Neil Rogers on 560 QAM.
Obviously, there's a report out tonight that 24 years ago, I was apprehended in Kennebunkport, Maine for a DUI. That's an accurate story. I'm glad of that. I oftentimes said that I occasionally drank, and I did on that night. But I made the decision that drinking, I don't want my girls doing the kinds of things I did, and I told them to drink and drive. Decision I made. I've been very upfront with the people saying that I drink now. Yes, I was. I'm going to drink beer, yeah. How many beers? I can't remember how many beers. It was 4 years ago. My father, very happy about it, but that's the course of action I took, and I'm the first to say that people of America will understand that.
Okay, have another one on us, Georgie. 10:01 at 560 WQA, and this is the day, baby. D-Day. Did I vote this morning? You bet your sweet ass I did. I was one of the first ones online. Although I got shuffled, I wound up in the wrong alphabetical line for some reason, so I wound up being about the 20th person to vote. They were jammed in there in the acres, baby, I'll tell you that. Jammed in there, lined up, 80 trillion deep, which may or may not be a good thing over there, because I don't think there were too many Gore people in the acres. A lot of glam in the acres, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those. But that's okay, because the thing that seems to be happening today, at least here in South Florida, where we're going to decide this election today, which is, I don't care what they tell you about, well, the Bush people are really highly motivated, all this other crap. What they don't want is a massive turnout, especially in areas where it's bad for them, the Bush people. They don't want a massive turnout of dark folks. They don't want a massive turnout of old people, especially old Jews. They just don't want a gigantic voter turnout, because that always is a bad omen. In fact, one of the pollsters, what the hell is the name of that bogus poll that they have on Fox that nobody else even mentions their name? Even they who are predicting that Bush is going to win. And you know something? Before I go into that, anything could happen. That's the exciting thing about right now. It could be anything. Bush could win by a landslide. I don't think Gore's going to win by a landslide, but Gore certainly has got a shot to win. Or it could be like, who knows? Could be, we'll show them out till the absentee ballots from the West Coast states come in, or the day after even. That's how tight it is, apparently. But anyway, the one poll, they're talking a big game for Bush, but in their overall poll of all registered voters, they're saying Gore 45, Bush 41. Even that outfit. Now the Zogby poll, the MSNBC Reuters Zogby, which, they have a good track record, but who the hell knows? They pulled right up till midnight last night. Here are their last numbers. Nationally, what the hell did I do with it? Some of my facts are sent. Here's my own. Nationally, Gore 48, Bush 46, Nader 5. Oh! Florida, Gore 48%, Bush 46, Nader 6. And I'm going to tell you right now, they're predicting 80% turnout in Dade, over 72% in Broward. That's it. Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Here's your chance to feel important, because you are going to decide the election today. Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. Make no mistake about it. And that Nader 6 points in Florida bothers me a lot. A lot. Michigan, Gore 51, Bush 45, Nader 4. Pennsylvania, this is a shocker. Gore 51, Bush 42, Nader 3. The state of Washington, Gore 50 points, Bush 43, Nader 5. Bush is 7 points ahead in Tennessee. He's going to win Tennessee. Illinois, Gore 50, Bush 43, Nader 7. Wisconsin, which Bush had a 2-point lead yesterday, it's even. 46-46, Nader 6. So you see the trend, not only in the national poll, but in the statewide polls, the trend is moving them toward Gore. The independents who lean Democratic, and some of the Nader people are moving back into the Democratic column. Ohio, which Bush had a huge lead in Ohio. In fact, they're already, every one of the networks has already got his, the color, the red on the map. Ohio, Bush 48, Gore 45, Nader 5. It's within the statistical margin of error on the poll. Missouri, which Bush also had opened up about a 4 or 5 point lead as of right now. Bush 48, Gore 47, Nader only 3. And they're saying that because the dead man is on the ballot, Mel Carnahan, that's going to bring out a lot. In fact, it looks like Carnahan's going to win. His wife. John Ashcroft can't even beat a dead man in Missouri. But Bush's lead is only 1 there now. It's, again, within the statistical margin of error. New York State, Gore 56, Bush 37, Nader 6. Now, I'd sure like to know, because now at the last minute they're saying, well, Rick Lazio, who was behind in all the most recent polls, because everybody seemed to hate Swillery like poison, nor the few that love her, but Lazio is supposed to win now in some of the polls. I don't see how that's going to happen when Gore is up by 19 points in New York State, and is going to win by probably about 1.5 million votes in New York State. How is it possible that Swillery isn't going to get swept in? I think it's highly unlikely. In fact, late last night, they were touting the fact that even as unlikely as it looked about the Democrats winning back the Senate, that the House is unlikely. It'll be very close, but the Senate is now becoming a strong possibility. So, get your ass out there and vote, because this is what they don't want. In spite of all... See, and those of you who are watching the Bush people in there, it's all a psych job. They tried this once before, where they start, celebrating and they're getting ready and they're very confident and all this other bullcrap. They did this in New Hampshire during the primaries. They were confident. They were going to just sweep right on in because, of course, it was handed to him on a silver platter. It's his. It's an entitlement for this guy, just like it's an entitlement for Swillery. Although at least she's got a brain. Not that I like her, but at least she's got a brain. But nevertheless, they had a big celebration in New Hampshire, a little bit premature because John McCain beat the crap out of the Bushmeister in New Hampshire in the Republican primary. I mean, beat the snot out of him. So take a look at those numbers. Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, the 3 must-wins in my book for Gore. He's ahead in all 3 of them. But the closest one is right here. 80% turnout they're predicting in Dade County. And keep in mind that many of those 80% are the crowd because they vote. Whether you like them or hate them, they get out and vote. They put their green teeth in a glass. They soak them off a little bit. They put them back in their puss, or not, as the case may be. Don't make any difference. And they gum a little bit of breakfast. And they get out there and they do it. They vote. They punch it. And the ballot, too. So all the rest of you people in Dade County better turn out in big, big numbers. Because remember all those months that furor with Alien and everybody's dissatisfaction and the right-wing old Julios and all this other bullcrap and all the corruption we've had in Dade County? Which, of course, crosses partisan lines because there are no political parties in Dade County. There's only one. It's called the Corrupt Party. But those of you who are enchanted with that and with that Julio stranglehold that we got in with people like Ileana Gross, Layton, and Dana, and that obnoxious, disgusting Lincoln Diaz Ballot. Here's your opportunity. Oh, and guess who was flying Bill McCollum around yesterday in his private jet? Wayne Hypinga. Yeah, Wayne Hypinga was flying Bill McCollum howdy-doody around the state of Florida. I just mentioned that in passing. For those who may forget to vote for Bill Nelson. Did I forget to vote for Bill Nelson?
No.
No, I did not. I punched it extra hard. And the ballot, too. Yeah, look, it looks pretty encouraging, man. They're lining up. In fact, it says hundreds of voters in South Florida stood in line for hours on Monday to cast absentee ballots for president, early indication of how strongly people feel about a contest that appears too close to call. Miami-Dade Supervisor of Elections, David Leahy, said, "We've never had this kind of turnout. This election is bringing out people in droves." And that was yesterday for the absentees, baby. So we'll find out from the audience today if they voted and how the turnout was by them, where they were. Here's our poll from yesterday. If you're voting today, the poll was tomorrow, but it asked, meaning today, who are you voting for? Al Gore, 1,043, 71.8%. George W. Bush, 257, 17.7%. Ralph Nader, 75, 5.1%. Harry Brown, 53, which I don't believe, 3.6%. That's bogus. And Pat Buchanan, 23, 1.5%. The reason I say that that's bogus is because the Libertarian Party, Harry Brown, hasn't shown up in any poll. I mean, just a statistical blip, like a fraction of 1%. So the Libertarian people are a little bit carried away. 9 minutes after 10 at 560 WQAM.
No portion of this program may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM Beasley Broadcast Group Incorporated.
Get off your duck. Get off your duck.
Now, from Washington, the McLaughlin Group, featuring Eleanor Cliff, Jack Germond, and sitting in for Pat Buchanan, New York Giant Tiki Barber. Now, here's John McLaughlin. Issue 1, George W. Rings or vault? Eleanor Cliff.
Well, John, I'd have to say.
Wrong! Jackamon.
Well, that's not an easy choice.
Wrong! Tiki Barber.
I'm going to have to say the vote.
Wrong! Actual answer, floor exercise.
That wasn't even a choice.
Next issue, Al Gore. Favorite Broadway show. Bring in the noise, bring in the funk, or Cats. Eleanor G, I think you're swallowed off.
Well, John, I'd have to say.
Wrong! Jackie Big Jamon.
Well, that's a very difficult choice.
Wrong! Tiki Barber.
I'm going to have to say red.
Not a choice, Ricky Tiki Barber.
You gave an answer last time that wasn't a choice.
Wrong! Correct response, Cats. He loves them. Next issue, the cast of Big Brother should be murdered. How? Eleanor.
Guillotine.
Wrong! Check them off.
Dynamite.
Wrong! Tiki Barber.
I don't think they should be killed.
Wrong! Actual answer, poison pudding. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 10:15 at 560 QM. Randy Rhodes comes home. Didn't we have this first yesterday ahead of everybody else? Does anybody care?
No.
Oh. It's in the Herald this morning, so it must be true. Stupid Talk 940's already impressive lineup just got a bit stronger. Longtime South Florida radio favorite Randy Rhodes will begin broadcasting her daily program, broadcast on West Palm Beach's WJNO since 94, starting Monday, Queer Channel's announced. How do you like that from 2 to 7 p.m. starting Monday? Now, she certainly got to do better than Liz, Not Too Wild, and certainly better than Brooke, Babbling Brooke, wouldn't you think?
What?
Yeah. Not a whole lot better. But like a little double those numbers. She'll double that 0.4. And that Ed Phil had like in the minus column, I'll guarantee you she'll do better than the minus column. Not a lot. See, it seems to me that they're like missing some of the puzzle there. I don't want to get, into that. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Yes, sir.
So she got, is Gay Tim still with her? Randy Rhodes?
Uh-huh.
I want to tell you something.
And it's still purple on alternate days. Some days it's green, some days it's purple.
He's a weird dude.
Yeah.
All right, check this out. A friend of mine, one of my best friends, is voting for Bush, right? So I said to him, I sat down with him last night.
Put him in a lockbox.
I know. I'm telling him all these things that I've seen documented, I've heard, these inconsistencies with Bush. Basically, at the end of the conversation, I got him to admit that Bush is a complete idiot.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason he's voting for Bush, he says, and a lot of people he knows, is because they're the military. Because of the military. They're convinced.
Because of the military what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Military what? He says, our military sucks. He says, when we were in Yugoslavia helping over there, that we ran out of ammunition because we didn't have enough money. I'm asking him, where did you get this information?
Did he have some kind of a bad dream or something, a bad bullet?
I don't know. And then he says, we have no smart bombs left. You know we have no smart bombs left? He also says... Yeah,
I got a couple.
He's convinced that...
I got one. There it was.
He's convinced that China is going to screw us.
Yeah.
Because we're a weak military power.
This sounds to me like somebody you definitely need to keep in a lockbox today until after 7 o'clock tonight.
Gary, then I said, wait, check this out. Then I said,
paranoid and delusional.
Bush wants to drill in protected lands in Alaska. He goes, that's great. He goes, you know how much oil is up in Alaska?
Mm-hmm.
This is the mentality of the Bush
That's
people.
why Nader's got 17 points in Alaska.
Right. Every Bush sticker I see in a car, if you're on a car or truck, it's a white male idiot.
Yeah.
Or their dumb wife. But, I'm going out to
dumb wife
Brooklyn.
and a pit bull in the back.
And, thanks for being there and at least letting everybody know the other side of the truth, man.
Okay,
it's crazy.
and keep that guy locked up, please. Big radio news. Beasley fires 45 at WWDB-FM in Philadelphia, drops 25-year talk format, switches to 80s hits as of 5 p.m. yesterday. New name, 96.5, The Point. Has not filed for new call letters yet. Eagle Marketing conducted the most recent research project in August, leading to the format change. The decision to drop news talk was made over a week ago. No one at the station saw it coming, although there had been rumors. Assistant PD Neil Larimore called the staff of WWDB-FM at 7:30 yesterday morning, telling them there'd be a 9 a.m. meeting. Bruce and Brian Beasley were there. Everyone was let go. Those employees with contracts will be paid in full. Oh, God! Hits of the 80s sounds great on QAM. Huh? We got all those old jingles we could bring back? Yeah. Everyone with a contract was paid off in full. Anyone without a contract received 2 weeks' pay. Consultant Randy Cabrich did the programming. The station will be running without jocks till January. GM of Beasley's Country WXTU Philadelphia. Dave Donahue will also become GM of WWDB-FM. And on it goes. And you want to buy that Beasley stock? Are you out of your mind? WWDB was like the pioneer FM talk station in America, The Wonderful World of Dolly Banks, who tried twice to hire me and actually did once when I was in Nashville for those famous 2 month in 1980. Hired me. I told a story about my moving van was taking my stuff to Philly, and Dick Casper conned me into coming back to this godforsaken place. I could have been a contender. I could have been in Philadelphia up there with that quarter of all those 80 billion people that live in the Northeast, living and breathing people. And here I am eking out a meager living. The Beasley, I'm telling you, don't buy that stock. If you want to buy Xerox, if it gets down under low 8 or something, maybe. But not Beasley, I'm telling you. It could easily hit 3 anytime. Seriously. Fired the whole staff? And they're going without disc jockeys until January because it'll keep the payroll nice and low? Don't have to worry about people not getting paid at WWDB because they don't have any employees to pay. Here's a mobile in Lake Worth. Hello.
Hello, Todd.
Yes,
You're
sir.
So right on. Couple things. One, when I'm finished, you play the asshole song. But I've been conversing on the internet with somebody who used to live by me, and every day he's sending me stuff about, do you know that Gore is this, and do you know why Bush is that? And finally, I realized he's just sending me stuff that's being sent to him, but most of it's coming from churches.
Oh, yeah.
And religious organizations. And the last one I got the other day says that we have to get Bush in there in order to change 8 of the Supreme Court justices to overthrow Roe v. Wade.
Right.
I mean,
it's so
obvious what they're trying to do.
I should point out, and I've been negligent in doing this, that Gore, before he became this compassionate conservative, bragged very loudly that he was the most anti-abortion governor in the entire country. I think women ought to keep that in mind.
Yeah, but the point is, what does he represent now? And right now, he represents the things that we believe in, not the repressive regime that the Bushmeister and all his buddies want to get their hands on. And the NRA is going to work right out of the White House.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. That wasn't a joke. That was real.
Okay, 3 times today, pal. Vote 3 times. Remember that song by Tony Orlando? Knock 3 times, vote 3 times. All the Gore people today. Don't forget that big ad Saturday, November 4th in the Sun Sentinel. Can a Christian vote for Al Gore? 7 issues from a biblical perspective, and they outline all of their hate. All of their hate. They don't hate the fetus, but they do hate, the women and the doctors and the fags and Al Gore and anybody to the left of Attila the Hun. This is just a beautiful, it's like a blueprint of extreme right-wing fanatical religious insanity in America today. And don't forget, these are the people in bed with the Bushmeister. These are the people who are just salivating. They've kept them in that semi-lockbox there, in the background, starting with the Republican convention. They kept them like in the wings. Trent Lott. Mario Cuomo was, I don't care what Imus says. Imus is a right-wing fossil. He's pathetic. I was watching this morning because I wanted to see MSNBC and all their poll news. Mario Cuomo and Jesse Ventura on Larry King last night were so sensational. Now, they had some old fossils on here like Alan Simpson and John Glenn and that Kasich guy from Ohio who just bugs the hell out of me. No wonder he's quitting. Get rid of him. But I'm telling you, what a ticket that would be, Mario Cuomo and Jesse Ventura. And Mario agrees that America needs a third party, and so do I. But just like Jesse said, a centrist party, not a far-left party or a far-right wacko party like Pat Buchanan, but a centrist populist party. I can see it right now. Mario Cuomo and Jesse Ventura. Even Jesse Ventura and John McCain. Yeah. So many possibilities. And don't forget the other ad that was in the Herald on Sunday, full-page ad. Have you ever held a newborn baby in your arms? Have you ever seen the size of a baby's feet at 10 weeks after conception? Well, here they are, actual size. And it's got a little teeny tiny, in the middle of what's mostly a blank page, a little teeny tiny pair of what look like baby gorilla feet, baby chimpanzee. Huh? Don't they? Those don't look like no human I ever saw. Looks like an apple from here. You know something? I think it is. I think it's subliminal. They're probably trying to sell them damn computers. That's what it is. Or some other fruit. Where are we going here? And let's find out how the voting is going where you are, okay? This is important to me. I want to find out if I'm getting overly enthused and excited or not. Because like I said at the start, I've been watching and listening and studying, and it could be anything. It's all over the place. Could be anything. Including this crazy thing in California where the Gore campaign decided, we got it wrapped up, we won't spend one dime there. And now, according to MSNBC, it's so close it's in jeopardy. They even had, what's his name? He's Canadian, Alex Trebek, running around there. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
I voted today. I voted for Gore. I was in North Miami Beach, my polling place.
Yeah.
And it moved along pretty good. There was a lot of people there, though, but it still moved along.
Okay. But it was busy, huh?
It was sort of busy this morning. Yeah. And that's about it. Hopefully Gore will win.
We got a shot, man.
Hey, I hope so.
Okay, thanks. Nice going. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 1,474 votes on our poll. If you're voting, Al Gore 1062, 72%. GW, a little under 18%. Nader 5%. Pat Buchanan 1.5%. And a phony, a bunch of votes for Harry Brown that we don't buy. 3.5%. Anybody believe in that?
No.
No. Probably got a few curmudgeons out there sitting, got a circle jerk going for Fudge Brown. We're not buying that. And something that's interesting, because the 1%, little over a 1.5% for Pat Buchanan seems about right from what we've been hearing in this state. The 5% for Nader seems about right, because if you look at what's the MSNBC poll? Nader's got 5 points in Florida, and he's got 5 in our poll over here. And of course, the other part isn't going to reflect the entire state, but just maybe it does, even though it's my audience, of course. But nevertheless, maybe it does give kind of reflection, because a couple of weeks ago, the South Florida poll, not mine, but the so-called scientific poll, it was 61-32 for Gore. And ours is like 72-18, which is certainly an exaggeration, because we chased a lot of those Bush pussies away, unfortunately, because they don't have the balls to hear the real truth. Or maybe they're just not having a good belt or two. That might be it. Getting ready for the big celebration, just like the celebration before the New Hampshire primary results came in. A premature evaluation. Scored, if you ask me. Here's Coconut Grove. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Gore supporter, and Nick, Neil, I'm very confident. I went down to see Gore last night on the beach.
Right.
And he started speaking at 1:15 a.m. There must have been 100,000 people there. They said anywhere between 60 and 80 no. There must have been 100,000 or over.
I heard there was about 3 million myself. That's what I just made up.
It was jam-packed, and he gave a great speech. But it was just wonderful that late in the evening, and there were so many people there. And it was right in the middle of Dade County, Miami Beach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very confident, and a lot of those people were Hispanics, were Cubans. There were lots of women there.
Yeah.
Very confident, and he gave a great speech, the best speech I've ever heard him give. It seemed very spontaneous. It was wonderful, and I'm very confident.
Now, did they keep Stevie Wonder away from the edge of the stage, I hope?
No, he was right behind him, actually.
I get nervous.
Bobbing and weaving like Muhammad Ali.
I get nervous.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm very confident, and I think we all should be. I think there's just enough people with just enough common sense to pull him through. I know he's going to win Florida, and I think he's going to win all those.
Pennsylvania and Michigan looking real good.
Yeah, he's going to win up there too. I think he's going to get all the blue collar, all the union votes. He's going to pull through. I'm very confident.
Okay, go vote again, pal.
Bye.
Thanks. Hey, with some of these 200-year-old retirees that we got, the poll workers, and God bless them, Bless them, they're out there doing their civic duty. That's wonderful. But the median age is 142, at least by me. And if they had any brains in this country and made Election Day a national holiday, then all kinds of people could go out there and work at the polls, including some people under the age of 100, which might facilitate it a little bit better. 27 after 10 at 560 QM.
Can't beat that gator meat.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit.
Yes.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. He's a rich spoiled brat and a cocaine junkie. What's he gonna do with all that campaign money? He don't give a crap about people going hungry. But don't confuse him with the facts. We can't find your rap sheet. It just disappeared. We're looking all over and it still ain't here. Hey, Georgie Jr., where's your rap sheet go? Are you afraid that we'll find out that you did blow? You were a rich college kid, a drunken party punk, and you got pinched for possession of drugs. But a rich bitch like you can hire a judge who gets an Ajax blender and a big head sponge. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. One more time. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Come on. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit.
10:32 at 560 WQAM. Here's a great letter from Marilyn in Coconut Creek. She says, Neil, I owe you a debt of gratitude. You saved me from getting 3 tickets. I was pulled over by the police for speeding. My tag had expired, and I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. The cop came over, and when I rolled down the window, he asked me if I knew the speed limit on that street, and I told him I wasn't sure. When he put his head in the window, he heard Neil Rogers on the radio. He asked me what you were talking about that day, and I told him it was about the election. He looked at me and said, okay, you can go, but make sure you wear your seatbelt. Thank you, Neil Rogers. Thank you, Marilyn, for taking the time to write me and tell me about your wonderful experience. Huh? How do you like that? Some of our good porker friends out there. There was a porker in Plantation there voting behind me today. Did he say anything to me?
No.
He didn't know me. There were a few of my people there this morning, which is good because at least I was recognized. I got my little sticker there, which I stuck right on my newspaper here, a little round white sticker that says Vote Year 2000. I did it. And it made me really feel kind of stupid that I haven't been voting all these other times. Although the other times it didn't make any difference. This time it could make a difference. Because this time it's real close, and now we, you know, the we crowd out there, that's always, see, there are things that can make you feel more important and better than a stupid football game. I realize that's about all you've had to hang on to for a long time, including like lately, with the Hurricanes and the Dolphins and all that crap. But now here's something I think that may be just a little bit more important than a stupid football game. And have a little bit greater impact on our lives and your kids and their kids and all that other stuff. Here's a call from Tampa. Hello.
Yeah, hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, I think they're lowballing on the number of DUIs between Bush and Cheney. They say there's 3 now, but
yeah.
I think they're lowballing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the thing on the military, I don't know if this has been said already, but Gore's budget is double Bush's budget for the military.
Uh-huh.
Bush
would like to come up with more money for the military, but he just can't find other countries that we could be involved with, you know. He can't find them on the map yet.
Can't go to Haiti. But
he wants to go back to Lebanon again.
One of the reasons it's double is because Bush is skipping the next generation of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to do them. We don't need them.
Yeah, he wants the Star Wars thing again.
Yeah, and by the way, up here in this area, the turnout is very heavy.
Good.
I was at some polls today.
Hillsborough County is very good for us.
Yeah, the Sparchers are voting in droves.
Oh, right.
I'm really proud of them. The women are voting, I'd say, at least up in this area, 2-1 over the men.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. And I don't want to take credit for this, but it says if you like to see abortion recriminalized, if you're for unrestrained logging and drilling and for voluntary pollution control, and if you favor more soft money in politics, then the choice today is clear. Vote Nader.
Right. Amen.
See ya.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, Gloria Steinem was on last night on Fox. I was flipping all over the dial, and she whipped Nader an ass. And she pointed out something that a lot of us had forgotten, and that was that when he first started this Green Party run, when he first got the run, he made a pledge that he wasn't going to campaign in any state where he could hurt Gore, where it was that close. And then all of a sudden he became like a wounded little child, and especially when the two parties got together and set the rules for the debates, and the fact that he only had 5%, not 15%, disqualified him and Buchanan and anybody else from being in there. Those were the rules. And it wasn't just the Democrats or the Republicans. They got together and decided. There's only an hour and a half for the debate, each one. And as it was, we didn't hear a damn thing from either one of them. So if you put 3 people in there, what the hell would we have heard? Ross Perot got in because at one point he was polling over 30% in 92. Believe it or not. Yeah, 33% at one point. Scary, isn't it?
Well, you got to roll up your sleeves and do. Lift up the hood and the engine. Dust off those old studies up there. They've been sitting around for years. Dust them off. Roll up the sleeves and do.
You see, the fact that man could get 19% of the popular vote, talking ridiculous generalities, it shows you, number one, there are a lot of dumb people, but also, number two, how desperate the American public really is for an alternative. That's the one thing that Jesse Ventura and Mario both got right on target on King last night, and that is that this country is desperate for a third party. Not Ralph Nader and his malcontents over there way out there on the fringe of the far left. Not those people. They're talking caca. A centrist populist party that makes sense. And just like Jesse Ventura said, he said the one thing that you got to love him for, he's a social liberal and a fiscal conservative. That's where it's at. And like he said, that's where most of the American people are. Most of the American public doesn't want the goddamn government inside women's wombs and inside their bedrooms and telling them what to do in their personal lives. They're not interested in that. They don't want to live in a fascist goddamn police state. And they also don't want the government flushing our money down the toilet like it's coming out of a faucet somewhere. Fiscal conservative, social liberal. Jesse Ventura is our man. Oh! Now, somebody sent me a ridiculous fax yesterday saying, oh, you should be ashamed, Neil, for not writing in Jesse Ventura. He said, if just 1 million of us could write that in, you know what? That would be 1 million wasted votes. First of all, he's not running, that's number one. And number two, what would the point be? Another 1 million wasted votes. But after we protect America from the right-wing lunatics in this election, hopefully, and there's a chance that could happen, then is the time, immediately, to start working on a meaningful third party. Can you imagine what Jesse Ventura could have done to this election? Can you even begin to imagine? 22 before 11 at 560 WQS.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
America loves to watch boobs and butts and boinking.
2 full hours of the hottest talk on radio. The doctor is in.
Hi, Dr. Visco. My name is Marion. I'm a first-time caller.
Hello, Marion. How may I help you?
Well, I found marijuana in my son's room. He's only 14, and I'm concerned.
You should be concerned. Are you masturbating?
No. How would that help?
Masturbate and call me in a couple of weeks. It will help. Trust me on that. Hello, you're on the air with Dr. Visco.
Yeah, hi, Dr. Visco?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, my name is Jerry. I talked to you a while ago. I was having some financial problems with my business. It was about to go under.
And how are things going now with the business?
Well, I just got to tell you, I started masturbating, and business is going great. It's really picking up.
Well, terrific.
I just wanted to thank you.
Terrific. You keep masturbating, things will go well. Hello, you're on the air. Dr. Visco, weekdays at noon.
1043 at 560 WQAM. Don't forget the best of the LCDs and cassettes are at Specs all over town, also over Naples and Fort Myers, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. And you can also get the CDs, cassettes, and those great keychains. Do we have a keychain around here somewhere? God damn it, this thing. At WQM.com or NeilRogers.com on our website. And also by calling Miguel at 305-650-0156. Did they do anything at that deal last night? Or I guess we're just not finding out anymore. Remember how we used to have in the old days the big grease board and with the number changing and all of those things?
Stop living in the past.
Oh, that's right. Well, the nephew's leaving anyway, and I guess that's no secret anymore. Plus, Miguel, he's busy getting laid. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I voted Democrat and go Gore, but the balloting was a little confusing. If you looked at the left side of the page, you had Bush and Gore. On the right side of the page, you had Buchanan. And if you didn't read it right, you could have voted for Buchanan by mistake.
Oh, boy. No, I stayed on the left, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but on the middle of where you had the voting, you had, where you punched. The third one down is Gore, but if you accidentally punched the second balloting, you voted for Buchanan. But anyway, go Gore, and I hope we win.
And now let's see, you're in Boca?
Yeah.
And how was the turnout there?
I was 10th in line when I voted early this morning.
Yeah.
And there was 4 lines, and there was at least 50 people in the 20 after 7.
Excellent. Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Nice job. 1,512 votes on our poll. I'm just going to leave this thing up here, okay? And then tomorrow we'll see just how it all turned out. Maybe we'll see. Because that business in California.
A critical state. And another issue that has sort of been thrown into this entire race this year is that there are about 3.2 million absentee voters this particular year. That's about 1 million more than the last election. So even though election night may end up tonight, we may not know the results of what will happen here in California, at least for another day or so.
Yeah, I'm the same in Oregon. 5670560, pound 560 on it. Wouldn't that be something if we had like a banana boat republic? Waiting for days and days and days on end while they're like counting and making a few up and getting a few dead people to vote. Don't worry about that. We got some consultants in Chicago and in Miami. We know how to get the dead people out. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, I'm wanted to report. I was in Palm Beach Gardens. There was at least 50, 60 people in there, and it was hard to find a parking space.
Great.
So that's good. And then I headed down to Boca today, and there's a Skyrider up over Boca right now. And he wrote several things, but the very first thing that he wrote, and you can still see it if you're in this area, was vote GW. Okay?
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
Well, there must be high winds or something because the W transformed itself into almost a perfectly shaped swastika.
How do you like that? Maybe God is looking down, huh? Maybe it's...
Oh, God!
Uh-huh.
Just remember, vote George Swastika.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks for the good news. Here's a fax from Sean in Lighthouse Point who says, recently my brother was diagnosed with a brain tumor. Come to find out that RU-48060, the abortion pill, is a treatment for tumors. If Bush gets in, he's vowed to repeal the approval of this drug, preventing many sick people from receiving this very important medication. How do you like that? Which we don't like that. And don't give me a song and dance that Bush hasn't said that he would do it. He started equivocating during the debates because that's one of his famous things. He tells the right-wing lunatics what they want to hear, and then he comes out and he tells the public. And I'm not saying that all politicians don't do that, because Gore and Lieberman both do that to a certain extent too, especially with big business. But the fact is that we're not talking just about business there. We're talking about human life. We're talking about freedoms. That's what we're talking about. Just like the crap about abortion now. Instead of being the most anti-abortion governor in the country, now he lays it out as, well, we have to, there's, a big difference of opinion. We have to change a lot of minds. We have to make you an offer that you can't refuse. And these people out there, anybody out there got a daughter besides George? So you married women that don't seem very whipped up about that issue, because I guess you assume that you're not going to get pregnant again, or you're certainly not going to get raped, because keep in mind that the constitutional amendment that they are in favor of, that Bush and his cronies are promoting, would prohibit any abortion, whether it has to do with the life of the mother, incest, rape, makes no difference. They love the fetus. They want that fetus. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they want that fetus.
What if it's Satan's baby?
That's a message from God. Even more, they want that. They can make some good movies with it. Make some good cash. Hey, those right-wingers, they're always looking for another way to make a few bucks.
Only $50.
Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Listen, I don't get to listen to you as much as I want to, but the last time I listened to you, there was a guy calling up and saying he was voting for Bush because he liked the estate tax and what it was going to do for him. This guy is a dope, and so is Bush.
Uh-huh.
It will not affect him at all. Everybody should know it's only going to affect 2% of the people, the Joe Robbies of the world.
Right.
And even taking that into consideration...
And Ron from Philadelphia, right.
Yeah, right. And even taking that into consideration, it's not going to go into effect until 2010. That's when it's going to be 100% implemented, 2010. The notion that it's going to help the average person is crazy. So let's take an example. You go ahead and you buy, I don't know if I should bring this up, you buy Citrix at 50.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I have Citrix too. You buy Citrix at 50. You die when it's at 100.
I'm dying when it got down to 14, I was dying.
You die when it's at 100, and your heirs inherit it at 100. They sell it at 110. Right now, they will pay the difference between 100 and 110. Under the Bush's program, your heirs are going to pay taxes from 50. And he's a liar. He is such a liar. The only people it's going to help is the people like Joe Robbie.
Right.
Where they wouldn't have to sell their assets. He's just a liar. Taking into consideration about he got caught for DUI or whatever that was 20 years ago, 30 years ago. He's attacking Clinton for not being truthful. This guy's a liar.
Yeah, well, and how come, I'd like to know how come it is that this last disappeared year of his military service, nobody in the media really wants to talk about. They make some kind of veiled reference, and somebody made a couple of comments about the Boston Globe article, which was a big front page story, but again, he gets off the hook. I just don't understand the free pass that the media have been giving him.
I think he's a bum, and I hope to God he doesn't get elected.
Well, go vote again. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
You know, just like yesterday, they had that story from Wisconsin, from Milwaukee. Did you see that story about first they didn't identify who it was. The Gore people, the Democrats, are going and getting the homeless people and buying their votes with cigarettes. Well, come to find out, there was a woman from New York City who was a big Gore contributor. She gave $150,000 for the campaign, got carried away. They had no idea she was going to show up in Wisconsin. I don't know what she was doing there. And she was going around to the homeless shelter offering cartons of cigarettes if she could get these people out there to vote for Gore. So that every time some wacko individual goes off the deep end, as if it doesn't happen on all sides, which of course it does, but every time something happens, oh, it's the old Democratic dirty tricks again. It's, just like the thing with the DUI. How they turned that around. And the question wasn't who leaked it or the timing of it. The question is, was it true? Did he cover it up? And did he lie about it? And I still also don't understand how come the interview with the guy from the Dallas Morning News, Wayne Slater, how come we haven't heard much more about that? Every time Al Gore in the last 3 months, every time he farts and it's the wrong aroma, oh my God, the media, they're on the phone over the White House. They want to know what he had for breakfast. Something's rotten in Denmark. Something's rotten in his kishki. Yeah. But this Teflon guy, it's unbelievable. Vanished in the National Guard last year in military. And here's Ross Perot there talking about military service. That little beady-eyed twerp last week. Guy had a great line about who's listening to Ross Perot. He said nobody's listening to him anymore except maybe Larry King.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Who's got his head so far up everybody's ass. Anybody who'll come on that show and suck around with him, he's got his head up their ass. If Hitler could come back to life, Larry'd be in there. He might ask him a tough question or two, although I doubt it. Nice mustache. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. West Palm Beach, hello.
How you doing, Neil?
I'm doing great.
You know, proof once again that all these Cubans here in West Palm Beach and all around over there in Miami, you never underestimate the power of denial. The truth is right in front of their faces, and they don't want to see it. I got family members, I'm telling them, do you see what's going on? Do you know what's going on? They don't care. They're like, they're just making all that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And Bob Dole's a hand model. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. All I know is I'm going to go and vote for Gore about 4 or 5 different times.
I heard that, Bob Dole is now a penis model. A length penis model, yeah. He's doing the before and after ads.
Oh, God, Neil. Help us all.
Good luck, pal.
Bye.
Okay, give us a helping hand. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T Verizon line. Let's find out just how they're, I'm telling you, it looks like we're going to have a massive turnout. Gigantic, humongous. Oh, there's the Rudy Giuliani. We hope you will get well, Rudy, and just get out of our face. Go away. Go sanitize Times Square a little bit more. Go clean up New York.
The baton to a younger, less famous...
Hold on, I'm going to tell you, Bubba and Swillery, they're showing it. We've seen this a million times on MSNBC this morning. Last night during the King Hour, they had a brief for a couple of minutes. They were talking about the fact that Bubba, with his 63% job approval rating, still is popular. In spite of the fact about the character, that poll, all that, he's still tremendously popular on a personal basis. And so they were tossing around the idea that if he could have run for a third term, that he'd be elected again. And John Glenn said that he would be. Alan Simpson, the retired Republican senator from Wyoming, said, yes, he agrees. Mario Cuomo said there's no question about it. And Larry said,
$50.
Yeah, just like I've been saying. So for all the Bubba knockers out there and all the Bubba Mices and all these people are all still bent out of shape over Monica and the fact that they couldn't nail his ass for a few blowjobs, guess what? The American people loves Bubba. They love him. And rightfully so. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sure you're aware that everybody in Washington State and Oregon votes by mail.
Right.
That's the way they do that now.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not surprised that the people in California are doing that. But I'm surprised that I voted absentee, and I can't understand why practically everybody doesn't, because you don't have to give a reason anymore. You just call up the supervisor of elections, tell them you want an absentee ballot for any election, and they mail it to you.
Uh-huh.
And you can fill it out at your leisure and send it back in. You don't have to go stand in a line.
Well, I had more fun going there because I haven't voted in so long I can't remember the last time I did. So I just enjoyed going there this morning. It gave me more the feel of really voting. You know what I mean?
Yes, but you have the leisure to do that.
Right.
A lot of people don't.
Right.
And they don't vote because they say, whatever, it's too hard to
Well, I don't know. You say I had the leisure. I got up at 5:30 this morning, and I was there 6:45, 15 minutes before they started opening the polls, so...
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't have to go at that particular time. You could have gone after your work or whatever.
That's true.
That's what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
When I've meant that you had the leisure to do it when you felt like it.
Right.
But, and you can do it for entertainment. But a lot of people, don't, because of one thing or another. They're figuring on the Oregon and Washington that they should have at least 80%. And, Arizona's been experimenting in local elections with doing the voting on the Internet.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had very good results with that.
Yeah, but I don't like that idea. There are too many computer hackers out there. There are too many wise guys that would find a way to break through. The Internet is still too much in its infancy to trust that for...
well, eventually they'll do it.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sweetheart. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. 10:56 at 560 WQAM.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Will you fudge back him?
This ain't a song about a happy couple. Since we got married, my wife's weight doubled. Thighs like a tree, and she's got a big tush. Her stomach so flabby that it covers her bush. It's my wife. I know she's fat 'cause she got more chins than China does. If she sits on me, I won't survive. It's my wife. When she sits around the house, she really sits around the house, you see. If she sits on me, I won't survive. It's my wife.
11:02 at 560 WQAM. We got Hank in the building today, too. I guarantee Hank's voting 7 or 8 times for Gore today. That's the rumor I'm hearing. Hank with Robert Jones, 5 to 6 o'clock. I guarantee you Robert Jones, he'd be voting for Gore. I don't want to, say that, but I would think so. Although, of course, Butch Davis, he's a good old Texas boy. Butch Davis, he's out there pushing the bush. Boog Shabby, 6 o'clock tonight. Do we have any idea who Boog is voting for? Huh? Never had any political conversation with him. He's a pretty bright guy. I would assume he's voting for Gore. Ed Kaplan, 10 o'clock tonight. Eddie K., he's voting for Gore. Yeah! Last time I heard. And the good news is, Joe Rose, that little girl on the morning show, he's not voting at all. Last we heard, he was busy chewing out Defoe for being, coming out of the closet, voting for Gore on the air. And how come you're doing that? And Geldy was right there. I gotta say, Geldy actually had his head up Defoe's ass this morning. He's alternating. But that little girl, Joe Rose, who ordinarily, would go out there and vote for Bush. She ain't voting because he's been putting him in a lockbox. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Mobile and Sunrise, hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, little funny story this morning. My wife went to the polls, and our neighbor was there, and she's a Republican. And she had mentioned to my wife while they were standing on line that she had received an absentee ballot from the Jebster to fill out and send in. So when she got up to the old ladies who were checking her in, they wouldn't let her vote because they had her marked down as absentee. And she said that she didn't request an absentee ballot. She said that all the Republicans got one from the Jebster. So that may explain why there's so many absentee ballots out there for Republicans, and maybe some people are dealing with that this morning, is that they're not letting them vote at the polling place because they have them marked as absentee ballots.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, have a good day.
And back to you. Here's a fact. I agree with you. I think Rosie O'Donnell is a fat, untalented humanoid, but she deserves a lot of credit in her stand of playing Barbara Streisand 4-minute pitch to vote for Al Gore. On Friday, Streisand was on 2020 being interviewed by Barbara Wawa. She went on with the agreement they will play her endorsement, ABC owned by Disney, cut it to about 30 seconds. O'Donnell found out about it and demanded to her bosses that they let her play it on her show where she walks. Her ratings are strong and the honchos caved in. I salute O'Donnell. What a surprise that Disney-owned company acted the way that they did, et cetera and so on. Says, way to go, fat-ass Rosie. Nice going, fat-ass Rosie. And let that Chuck Heston have it again, too, while you're at it.
You son of a...
Yeah. Wait till you hear this, George. Here's the final CBS poll. Bush 44, Gore 45. Oh! That's their final nationwide poll. Now, anybody who can't see the momentum, can't see the way that the pendulum has been swinging over the weekend and these last couple of days, very slowly, very subtly, maybe that DWI, maybe that had something to do with it, maybe not, possibly not. Maybe the fact that a lot of those independent, Democratic-leaning voters decided to come home, they took a look at the alternative, the dumb alternative, dumb, and they said, no, we don't think so. And, of course, definitely some of the Native people have said, I'm not going to waste my vote this time. If we believe in Native, if we believe in the Green Party, let's work on it after this election because he's not going to win right now, and there's a lot of work to be done. But we're not going to be a participant in helping to elect someone who is diametrically opposed to everything that we stand for, from the environment to individual freedoms to you name it. Not to mention, of course, his kinship with everybody in big business, from the tobacco companies to the pharmaceuticals and the goddamn oil companies and the insurance companies, and on it goes, an endless list. Because let's face it, doesn't anybody with a brain say, hey, let's just make it voluntary to comply with those EPA standards? Huh? Don't you think? Yeah.
They'll do the right thing.
Yeah, they'll do the right thing. And how come I can't see anybody that I'm talking to? Oh, it's all that pollution in the air. I understand, in fact, it's a good thing Stevie Wonder wasn't in a thing in Houston. They weren't having a big bash. Well, at least then he'd have been on equal footing with everybody else, because nobody could have seen a damn thing. Final CBS poll, Bush 44 and Gore 45. It's enough to make you start salivating. Here's Cape Coral. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Uncle Neil, how you doing?
All right.
Took the wife and myself down to vote, and this morning, and it was around 8:30 or so, but there was nobody there, and anyone that was there was just about over 60, I think. But so it's,
that's good.
We voted for Gore, but if Gore's going to win the state, then I think we need some help from everywhere else except the West Coast over here.
Right, Cape Coral. The fact that people aren't voting in Cape Coral, that's a sensational sign. That's the best news I heard all year.
Hopefully all the old Republicans will stay home.
Keep them in a lockbox, pal.
Yeah, I'm just over here holding out for 2004. Hopefully Jesse the Body will get on the ticket.
There you go. He's got my vote.
And in the meantime, I'm holding it.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, Neil.
Cape Coral, they're not voting in Cape Coral. Let's hear it. That's the more good news. Everything seems to be falling into place. And don't get sucked in by this propaganda that the right-wingers keep spreading about, well, you know, the Republicans are really energized and they're the ones that are going to really turn out. That's what I say to that. That's a pile of crap. They don't want the big turnout. No matter what kind of garbage they peddle to you, they don't want the big turnout. They're terrified of it. Especially women and darkies. That's what they're really worried about. You dark folks out there, here's a chance to flex your muscle, baby. You don't want a bunch of right-wing lunatic judges in there. If you don't want to have whatever progress you believe in turned back 20, 30 years, which you can ill afford at this point or any point, then please get off your dead ass. Just jam a whole bunch of your neighbors in that, whatever you're driving, that little brown Corolla, and just get on down there. Get over there. Do it. CBS poll, I mean, it's unbelievable. Because every other poll, every single other poll, had been, including the MSNBC, had been for Bush the last 10 days. Until these last couple of days, and now that pendulum has started swinging. And wouldn't that be a shame if people who were like celebrating prematurely in New Hampshire back in the Republican primaries made asses of themselves again by a little premature evaluation once more? Imus is on there this morning saying, well, gee, they must be really confident. I'm hearing the Bush people on there thanking people already. Gore is sweating his brains out and pitching for votes, and Bush is on there thanking people. Yeah, thanking lunkheads like you, Imus. 500-year-old man in a chair. Yeah, dead man in a chair. Who's been pumping his audience to vote for Hillary so they'll have some good material to talk about for the next 6 years, but admits that he couldn't do it this morning, couldn't pull the trigger. Because his voting place, the booth was broken down, so they had to give him a paper ballot, and he had to fill in a little Crayola thing there, a little circle, jerk. And he couldn't do it for Hillary. So he voted for Lazio. And I'll say it again, as much as it doesn't really affect us, it affects the entire U.S. Senate. And if Gore's really ahead by 19 points in the state of New York, what kind of chance could Lazio possibly have? Even as many people despise Hillary like poison. I think they're bringing a bunch of Arabs in from Dearborn. 9 minutes after 11 at 560 WQF.
Holy cow, Aaron's coming.
All right.
Everybody's taking a brand new pill now. No more baby mistakes or pill abortion. If there's something inside of you making you ill now. No more baby mistakes or pill abortion. No doctor visits, it's too easy to do. You just pop on a feed, get the stick turn glue. So come on, take the pill abortion by me.
11:14 at 560 WQM. Thanks for the birthday cards, by the way, and thanks to Kevin who sends me a birthday fax. Kevin at Accurate Computer Cabling, Inc. You know, as you're going to your polling place today, and I sure hope that all of you do, if you can, just ask yourself one very simple question. Do you really want somebody this stupid to be your president? Here's some more great Bushisms, and these are all documented with dates, locations. Redwood, California, September 27th this year. He says, I will have a foreign-handed foreign policy. Saginaw, Michigan, September 29th. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. On Gore's tax plane in Greensboro, North Carolina, October 10th, he says, it's going to require numerous IRA agents. He says, I mean there needs to be a wholesale effort against racial profiling, which is illiterate children, in the second presidential debate. Los Angeles, September 27th, he said, one of the common denominators I have found is that expectations rise above that which is expected. Beaverton, Oregon, September 25th, he said, it is clear our nation is reliant upon big foreign oil. More and more of our imports come from overseas. Yeah. Well, they could be importing them from, like, underground, I guess. Haven't you heard about those underground oil companies?
Uh-huh.
On Oprah, he says, I am a person who recognizes the fallacy of humans. He says the tax cut is really one of the anecdotes to coming out of an economic illness. Anecdotes. Uh-huh. In Orlando, September 12th, I don't think we need to be subliminal about the differences between our views on prescription drugs. I gotta make sure I got the right page here. What the hell is this? This is too good to pass up on this one. Here it is. He says, we cannot let terrorists and rogue nations hold this nation hostile or hold our allies hostile. And you know what it all boils down to?
Yeah.
He's a moron. That's what it boils down to. He is one of the dumbest people ever to be in a position of running for the president. And keep in mind, I'm talking about running for president and having a chance to win. Gerald Ford wasn't elected. He was appointed. I beg your pardon? Okay, here you go. And then he was defeated by a totally inept man named Jimmy Carter in '76, which was a tragedy, but that shows you how stupid Gerald Ford was. Couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. I don't think this guy can just find out where to stick the gum. You know what I'm talking about?
Rectum.
Yeah. How to unwrap it. I think the question is, can he drink and chew gum at the same time? Here's Coral Gables. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You're reading things on the air that you don't know whether they're true or not.
What does that mean? They're all documented with footnotes of where
Documented, but
they're from.
somebody, they have a little thing on the bottom and you just take their word for it that is documented.
Yeah, they just made them all up. Okay, blow it out your ass, pal. They just made these up. I've heard many of them myself, and I've also seen them show the clips of him uttering the words myself. Just like that crap about, next thing they'll be telling you Social Security. Oh no, he says the Social Security. He calls it the Social Security is a federal program. They want you to believe the Social Security is a federal program. The man is illiterate, sir. He's a dumbo. This isn't something that people are making up. These are the actual words that came from his mouth. As amazing as it is, as astonishing and hard as it is to believe. And somebody tried to tell George was just telling me that before he went on vacation, somebody called off the air and was telling him that I should stop reading these because these are Dan Quayle quotes. I hate to break the news to you. Number one, these quotes are all dated and documented as to where and when they were made. And number two, Dan Quayle was a rocket scientist compared to this guy. And that's scary. Dan Quayle was a moron, and he was a rocket scientist compared to W. So if you don't want to believe it, go right out there and vote for somebody that's dumber than you are, because it'll make you feel better than yourself. Somebody who's really well equipped to make decisions about peace and foreign policy and about economics. Not. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I was at my precinct earlier, very heavy Democratic precinct, packed to the rafters.
Great.
Hey, one thing I did notice, the Boy Scouts and the Christian Coalition is out aggravating the gays.
Really?
They are trying to repeal the Dade County Human Rights Law.
Oh, yeah, we know that.
And they are, well, the language that they're using, one of the guys that was there said, well, you support the gay rights, they're destroying the Boy Scouts. The other one they're trying to use, they're falling back to the other language. Sign this to preserve equal rights for gays.
Sign this to preserve equal rights for gays?
Yeah, so basically, you know, they're going back to the special rights thing.
Uh-huh. Oh, to preserve equal rights, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in other words, they're being dishonest. They're being, totally dishonest. They're trying to lure people in because they can't get most people to sign that crap. That was their problem last time, and I think they'll fail again this time.
Oh, one of my friends, they were really harassing because he's doing some volunteer work for the organization that's fighting them, and they call him every name in the book. You're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually had the police out there a couple of times.
Well, like I said, those are those great, good Christians, man. The most evil people in America. Those wonderful evangelical Christians. Those wingnuts.
And unfortunately, we're going to have one of them as president.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I hope to hell with you because I'm like you. I'm one of your fellow queers.
Yeah.
So it's like I am gay. So I got my passport ready, and I'm ready to start singing "No Canada."
Okay, squeeze it tight, pal.
Okay.
I'll see you in Toronto, eh? See you on Church Street, eh? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. After dropping my kids off, here's Marlene in Pembroke Pines sends me a fax. Says, after dropping my kids off at their elementary school, I drove to my election place, Walter C. Young Middle School in Pembroke Pines. I waited in line for an hour, listening to the chants of the middle school students, vote Gore, and I did. Nice going, Marlene. Hey! Like that. Let's hear it for Pembroke Pines Middle School. Walter C. Young Middle School, whatever the hell it is. Now, see, we've been hearing what's been very disturbing to me is these polls they take of the kids. There was the one on Nickelodeon, and then there was the other nationwide one where they have like 1.5 million kids who voted on it. Because these are kids from grades 1 through 12. And usually you assume that kids vote the way their parents brainwashed them to doing. And Bush won those polls overwhelmingly. One of them was like over 62%, like 62-36, something like that. And if that, of course, is the case, then we don't really have a close race, if we're supposed to believe that. Do I believe it?
No.
No, because I think you believe whatever you want to believe. And this is the kind of election where you can believe whatever you want to believe. You can believe it's going to be a landslide for Bush. You can believe that Gore's going to pull it out. You can believe that it's going to be like Rays within till 3 in the morning or maybe the next day. And any of these things, all of these things are a possibility because nobody knows. Nobody knows the trouble we've seen. Here's Coconut Creek. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
I saw two things today that wanted me to schmidt myself.
Okay.
The Skywriter said, love God, vote Bush, and then a bumper sticker that said, God, guns, country, Bush 2000.
What can you say to that besides Yahoo?
Yahoo and ew.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay, thanks, pal. Yeah, God, guns, country, booze. You know what that inspires me to play? Which I think fits right in.
Hi, I'm Ed Buford of Buford Liquor and Guns. We have the largest selection of booze and firearms in the state and will personally assist you in choosing the correct alcoholic beverage and weapons for your next outing.
Going squirrel hunting? Then you'll love our low prices on schnapps and hand grenades.
Living in the city? Check out our deal on handguns and California wine.
Maybe you aren't interested in hunting or self-defense. Maybe you just like to get drunk and shoot at mailboxes. Well, we've got gallon jugs of wild turkey and 44 Magnum shells on sale this week only.
We're open 24 hours. We never check IDs, and we're NRA approved. So come on down to Buford Liquor and Guns, where everything leaves loaded.
Okay, how you doing, Georgie? 22 after 11 at 560 WQM. Hank Goldberg at 2 with Robert Jones at 5. Boog Shambi at 6. Eddie K at 10. Nice clean lineup. No ball games to mess it up here today. No Panther games. See that big tray? Oh! Greg Adams just turned 122 years old. And team up there with Igor Larianov. We may not be the best, but we're working to get to be the oldest. Nice going, Marie boys. I was saying to somebody yesterday it'd be a great idea. They were talking about getting Valerie Burry, Pavel's brother from Calgary. I say, let's trade the Murrays for the Burrays. That's what I say. What do you say?
Oh!
Yeah. Here's a Mobile and Sunrise. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, how you doing?
All right.
I just voted over in Sunrise there. I guess it's Davie, precinct 492, and there's about 50, 60 people in line. And like I say, they was all voting the way I voted. We voted our conscience for our country. We voted for Bush because we're sick of the baby killing homos and that there, trying to enforce the issues in that there. So I just say all the way with Bush in 2000.
Okay, baby killing homos. Okay, thanks. There's one of your good Bush people right there. See, and they think that by doing that that's going to help their cause. Every time we get a call just like that, it helps the Gore people. Because, again, it pops right into your mind. If you're in your car listening right now, maybe you're on the way to vote. This is what they're all about. The peddlers of hate and intolerance. If you're not just like them, if you're not one of those people hanging out at Buford and Son Liquor and Guns, just like them. See, and first he starts out by telling us he's in Sunrise, and then he says Davie. I guess it's Davie. Like he doesn't really know where the hell he is. Do we believe anything he said?
No.
Plus, of course, he tells us that everybody else there was voting a certain way. See, one thing you'll notice in the polling place, and like I said, I haven't voted for years, is that they have the little booth. You go in there, you put your card under the thing there, you stick the where it's got the two little buttons, and you punch it. Nobody stands over your shoulder. Nobody can see what you're doing. Nobody is asking and telling, and nothing like that. They all respect the fact that it's a private thing and to do your thing, and everybody's just pleasant and how you doing, and that's it. Hello, goodbye. Almost as pleasant as that guy. Not quite. Here's a mobile in Weston. Hello.
Hi there, Neil. How are you?
Okay.
Great. It's been such a long time since we've had any verbal intercourse. I've missed them. I wanted to talk to you about a couple of organizations that are on the internet. Ballotwatch.org. And I picked up yours, realchange.org. I could not believe all the stuff on W. It was not only unbelievable, but it was hysterical on top of it.
Right.
What a total utter moron this guy is. And there's another issue that no one I've heard discussed, and that's the Silverado and the savings and loan scam with the junk bonds. That was also Georgie W., of which he never spent a day in jail or a day in court over. I got a couple of friends of mine that are retirees up in Boynton Beach. They have no pension because of W. Because of the savings and loan scandal. Do you remember that back in '87?
Yeah, and I remember his brother Neil was up to his earlobes, too.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of mention of that during the last political campaign. The way the voters were turning out in Weston this morning, a lot of women out there voting.
Good.
It was a pretty good turnout.
Didn't see too many women in Plantation Acres this morning. A lot of men.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Surprising. But the other interesting thing about ballotwatch.org, all the referendum and all the issues that we're supposed to be voting on in the book today about the bullet train and all the other nonsense.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Just say to the bullet train, I voted against that.
Yeah, I voted everything else down because not only was it confusing and a lot of legal double-talking nonsense, but when I logged on to ballotwatch.org, we couldn't find a lot of information about where they were supposed to be getting the money, who was going to be appropriating it.
They have no idea. That's why it's ludicrous. It's pie in the sky. They haven't even told anybody where they're planning on getting the money. It's just nonsense.
Well, not only about the bullet train, but the other issues as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's too bad. I've been trying to get a hold of you for a couple of days. I wanted to know if you could spend any time, because a lot of the people that listen to your show, I mean, I'm glad that they're listening, and I'm glad a lot of them are going to go out and vote Democratic, but a lot of them just don't have the sense to read through what is the real bottom line on all those issues. For example, as you said, the bullet train. You know, a lot of people thought, oh, it sounds like a good idea, and I think I'll vote for it. Or the parks. Where are they going to get the money for the $400 million in parks? Is it a federal program? Is it a county program? Is it a state program? We don't have a tax in Florida right now.
Pie in the sky.
And frankly, I don't want one. You know, I don't want to hear that it's a temporary thing because once the federal government gets a chance to legally take your money, they'll take it, and you'll never get it back.
Okay, got to run. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Bye-bye. 27 after 11 at 560 WQM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
We want to go now to your closing statements. Governor Bush is first.
Thank you, Jim. What I care about is failure. And you know what? It can happen in America with the right kind of leadership. Surely this nation can come together to encourage doctors to take the lives of our seniors.
Can I comment on that? I would sign a law banning that procedure. If I'm entrusted with the presidency, here are the choices that I will make. I'll cut health care, prescription drugs, education, and national defense, put our budget into deficit, raise interest rates, and put our prosperity...
I can't let the man continue.
I believe that Governor Bush is a national asset.
Correct, but that's just totally false. Wait a minute, it's just totally false for him to stand up here and say that.
Thank you, Governor Bush.
Vice
President Gore.
Thank you. 11:32, and there's another guy that really hurt the cause too. Is that Jim Lehrer with those marshmallow questions, and that third debate where he couldn't find one question about abortion or almost anything else of substance, and just kept rehashing the same crap about the tax cut and Social Security. And then the one Schwarzer that got up there and asked Bush, "Are you proud of executing all those people?" Anyway, Paul Begala writes again. We're getting back to the military service, that last missing year. He says in his book, Is Our Children Learning? He says, I don't believe Bush. Call me skeptical, but I'm going with the word of a retired general, and I'm just guessing that a retired general from Alabama is not a raving leftist. A couple of colonels and hundreds of pages of records. With the exception of Bush's implausible denials, the record here is quite clear. Bush avoided going to Vietnam by securing a coveted spot in the Texas Air National Guard. While stationed in Texas, he performed hazardous duty honorably, but when he requested and received his transfer to Alabama, he did little or nothing to fulfill his duty. The fact that he was honorably discharged only means that he got away with it. Back in the Second World War, a little private from Detroit didn't show up for duty. His father was not a powerful congressman, and his grandfather had not been a senator. His family did not have a majestic mansion in the surf-pounded cliffs of Kennebunkport, Maine. Private Eddie Slovak deserted, and Eddie Slovak was shot by a firing squad. Thus proving once more the enduring lesson of W.'s life, it's good to be a Bush. I'm not accusing Bush of desertion, mind you. He was not on active duty, much less in combat. But it's pretty clear that the man who pontificates about how when he takes the oath of office as president, he'll restore honor and dignity to the presidency, did not fulfill his oath of office as a first lieutenant in the Texas Air National Guard. And let me say it again, for any doubting Thomases, he didn't show up for his last year in Alabama. There isn't one person that they can find who can document him being there for one solitary second. So here's a guy who admits to being a drinker and carouser, a drunk until he was 40 years old. And keep in mind that the DWI that was 24 years ago, that didn't stop the drinking. We don't know how many other episodes because he won't tell us. Admits to being a drunk and a carouser till he was 40 years old, skipped out on his last year in the National Guard, and here's a man who's going to restore moral honor and dignity to the White House because of the fact that he found Jesus? I don't think so. Here's a lady in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
My husband and I just got back from voting. We both voted the state Democratic ticket.
Great.
At Imperial Point Hospital. That's where we vote. But the thing I want to say, if Bush wins, I'm going to feel just like I felt when O.J. the killer was acquitted. You remember that day?
Yes.
Boy. But I think Bush's going to win. I thank you.
Okay, and have a great day.
Thank you.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Hey, well, I'm calling to let you know I've been driving around in most of the black area precincts, and I'm gonna tell you, the voter turnout is extremely heavy.
Great.
It is absolutely high, and everyone I speak to is very enthusiastic about it. It is more enthusiasm this time around than I've ever seen it. And it shows by the amount of people that are showing up at the polls this morning. I mean, huge, long lines, and people are getting out. They are getting off their butts and voting this time around. But what I mainly called about is to say that it seems as if what's causing this is the fact that there's something about George Bush that just doesn't resonate. I mean, it seems that there's a protective shield around him, and that the media, for some unknown reason, don't want to penetrate this shield to let the American people know what this guy's all about.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems as if I can't touch it. I can't. I'm looking at it. I see it there, but I can't quite put my finger on it as to what it is.
Well, get you a frying pan and try to scratch that Teflon and see if it's not an easy thing to do.
Oh, and one more thing. Hey, now, he says that with his drinking problem there, that he's a changed man.
Mm-hmm.
But how many people on his death row in Texas said that they were changed people, and he put them away anyway?
No, well, that doesn't count.
No? All right, Neil. Just call and let you know that the black folks are out, and they are voting.
Excellent news. Yeah, their name wasn't Bush, those people on death row. That was the problem. Ever heard the burning bush? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Cutler Ridge. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Since when have you been against the death penalty? I don't understand.
What?
You're making it sound like you're against the death penalty.
I'm against executing people who are, number one, retarded. I'm against executing people whose attorneys slept through their trial, the public defenders. I'm against executing people willy-nilly, so to speak, just like the Republican governor of Illinois.
Okay. Now, I'm voting for Nader, but I'm going to tell you why Bush is going to win the election. Because the American public is sick of the condescending celebrities who are out of touch with us, telling us what we should do.
The condescending celebrities?
Yeah, all these
like the one gentleman parading around there for Nader? Those don't count?
And now
like Patti Smith? How about all the other celebrities that were up there for Nader the last 2 weeks?
Celebrities. Those aren't like in-now celebrities, okay?
They're not?
No.
Where the hell is the other? There's a whole spate of them. How about Phil Donahue, sir?
Exactly.
That's his number one henchman.
Phil Donahue is not one of your pop culture celebrities right now.
Pop culture celebrities.
Yes.
So in other words, it makes a difference what era they come from? Is that what it is?
Okay, and one more point.
Well, what is Phil Donahue if he wasn't an entertainer? What was he?
Ah, but come on, who knows Phil Donahue now?
Who knows Phil Donahue?
Yeah, I mean, besides anybody who's
let me
over
say
the
this.
age of
Anybody
40.
who's going to vote, if you don't know who Phil Donahue is, he should be...
I know who he is. I know who he is.
So then what are you talking about?
But most of the people voting...
Anybody who's a celebrity that's for Gore or Bush is bad, and anybody who's a celebrity who's for Nader is good. Is that what you're saying, sir?
I just noticed that last week you said all the polls were wrong. Now you're saying all the polls are right.
I didn't say that at all. Didn't I say several times that anything could happen? We have no idea. Did I say that?
Okay.
Don't confuse this guy with the facts. And that's another Nader right there for you. Go ahead, throw your vote away, sir. In fact, just take your voter registration card and burn it. Why? Make the same effort. Make no difference. Have the same impact. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 21 till noon at QAM.
This is 560 QAM.
Oh my God, your breasts are beautiful.
This is a story of a girl who got lucky. Anna Nicole hit the jackpot. She got it all. While his body rocks, she can smile. It's what she was waiting for. And now she is so wealthy. This former guest girl, that's because she's so lucky. Married Grandpa, and he died. Not decrepit old fart, thinking if I had to do that old sock club, I deserve 450 mil.
1144 560 WQAM 567-0560 pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 1,596 votes in our poll. Al Gore 1147 72%. George W 292 18%. Nader 79 4.9%. Harry Brown 55 3.4%. Do we believe the Harry Brown?
No.
Libertarian? No. Pat Buchanan 23 1.4%. Here's Lauderhill. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
I'm doing good.
I saw the turnout today. It looks pretty good, but I'll tell you something. I'm a little ticked off. I've been putting signs up all week long. I put about 100 of them out there. Every time I go out there, they're ripped down, and Bush people have put theirs up, and I know other people who have gone through the same process. I can't understand how anybody in this country can vote for someone who can't even respect the democratic process. Their signs are left alone. They can't even respect our right to have a choice. They've got to go and act like yahoos and start tearing things up.
No, they're not acting like yahoos. They're just being yahoos.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
They're just acting naturally.
And it's like people should get really angry about this. And I just like to say, if you haven't gone to the polls yet, go to the polls, call somebody up, and take them to the polls. Ask them if they've gotten there, get them there, and let's beat this guy into the ground. And I also wanted to find out, do you need the poll rides numbers again? Because I got them here.
Oh, I got them here somewhere. Okay. I got them right here. I'm glad you reminded me, though.
All right, let's get everybody out there, man. I mean, these people are like fascists. I mean, even George Bush talks like a fascist. If you listen to him, if you've ever read Hitler's speeches, he's got the same kind of platitudes. Hello?
I'm listening.
Yeah, he's got the same kind of platitudes and generalities. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. He's got that same kind of quality to him.
Without the personality. Okay, listen, good luck to us.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, free rides to the polls. If you don't have a way to get to the polls but you'd like to vote today if you're registered, Dade County, call this number. They'll get you there. 305-354-2770. 354-2770 in Dade County. If you live in Broward County, 954-923-8488. 923-8488. And in Palm Beach County, 561-279-4466. 279-4466 in Palm Beach. Do it. Don't just sit on your ass. Here's Miami Springs. Hello.
Hey, let's let you know that our family... There's no faction in the church.
Oh, yeah, this is the no fags in the church crowd.
There's no faction in the church. They're just jealous that Bush's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and our family voted. And
your
for
family?
Bush.
Your family, did they come out of the cave long enough to do it? How'd that happen?
cave. Man, you're just jealous.
You know what I'd like to tell you, sir, seriously, after all these idiotic calls over the last 3 years, I want to tell you one thing. Are you listening?
Yes. You're gay.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. So evidently he must have got out of the church, because that's the guy that says...
There's no fact in the church.
And congratulations for making it on our great Best of Neil buttons, too.
There's no fact in the church.
How do you like that? That's an omen, George. This must be our lucky day. I mean, that could have been any one of those that came up there, but it was...
There's no fact in the church.
Yeah.
Oh!
That's an omen, baby. Things are looking up.
We should get his name and address so that we can send him.
And you know something? I'll tell you, you can always tell when the right-wingers are starting to get really panicky, because now they're rattling their spears. Wait till you look at this. I want you to look at this thing that I just got in the fax machine, which I wouldn't dignify by discussing on here. But you can always tell when the rabid right-wingers are starting to squeeze themselves a lot and getting real nervous. I mean, this is the tip-off right here. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, here's a Lee County horror story for you. I'm a registered Democrat. I called the election commission yesterday.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I want to make sure. She said, we took you off the rolls. So I ran down there. I was,
Took you off the rolls for why?
Well, I wanted to find out. So I go down there. I drive down there in a huff. I get down there. She says, because you didn't vote in the 96 election, we had to take you off the rolls. That's
ridiculous.
It is unbelievably ridiculous. So I think what they do in Lee County is they look for registered Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Any pretext they can use for wiping you off the rolls, they will do it. And so what I'm doing is I've been driving people to the polls, trying to do what I can. But let me just make an appeal as a veteran. Anybody, I just got on and I was watching the tube, and this ragtag General Schwarzkopf, who is, just unbelievable, is talking about, who's a traitor to the military or a traitor to the uniform.
Now, did he mention the fact that W skipped out on it last year that I was just reading there from Paul McGall's book? Did he mention that? I kind of doubt it.
No, that was kind of skipped over a little bit. But
I just forgot.
Let me just, make an appeal to any veteran who would think in their right mind to vote for somebody like this prevaricator who has lied, is not being true to themselves. Any Catholic who would vote for him after this Bob Jones incident, which I don't think Gore exploited
that's
well
what
enough.
I just don't understand. He's doing pretty well with the Catholics. I just don't get that. I know they got a certain number of fetus huggers in their midst, but the same was true when Clinton ran the last two times. But they must just have very short memories.
Well, I think what you're going to see is most of your Democrats are going to come home. But, the Nader people, from what I've talked to a couple people, they're bolting. The Nader people are bolting to Gore.
Yeah.
And there's no question about that.
And you know something? We will never even get to, until the votes start getting tabulated, you'll never even realize the total impact of that, because it's one thing to talk a good game, but then when you get in there and you start pondering, just before you punch that ballot, and you start pondering the impact, and you've been hearing all of these things about the polls are really, really tightening up, and your vote could be crucial. Those people, a lot of them, if they have any conscience at all, they're not going to throw away the vote.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. They're going to hit the lever for Gore.
Yeah.
Lastly, let me just mention the canker Nazis. Let's not forget it. It affected me personally. Let's not forget that, too, because isn't it funny that they stopped, and they're going to start tomorrow with the canker patrol again.
And don't forget who the governor is that's behind that.
That's right.
Bush.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Okay, pal. Nice job. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. What's W saying?
At that point, there's just been a lot of great moments.
Oh, yeah. Where are we going? Let's go to Boca. Hello. Boca.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
The best thing that can happen is George W. wins the majority vote and Gore wins the Electoral College. Wouldn't that be great?
Well, it would be great, and that it would accomplish two things. Gore would win the election, number one, and number two, they'd finally abolish the Electoral College.
And the other thing, I think the
and number three, it would piss off all those Republicans,
But the Nader people ought to realize if they want to give up this country for 4 years, how much damage could Bush and his friends do to the environment in this country in 4 years?
They could make it look just like Houston. Coast to coast.
Thank you.
Have a great day, sir. God bless America. You see, the dunderheads out there, these people that are just so filled with hatred and intolerance and psychosis, you can't reason with them. They're crazy people. They're people that belong institutionalized. They need help. So you've got to hope that the reasonable people who have just a little bit, now we're not talking about intellectuals, just a little bit of intellect at all, who can see the forest through the smog, are smart enough to say, hey, you know something, this guy's record is a nightmare. He is a freaking nightmare, plus being a liar. And a damn good one, talk about the pot calling the kettle black. A damn good one to be walking around talking about the bringing morality and decency back. A guy who was admittedly a drunk until he was 40 years old. I don't think so. Here's a mobile in Oklahoma. Hello.
Yeah, hey, I know where Bush was, if you want to know. You know, the thing is, he was flying, they trained him how to fly a plane, but they stopped flying. They decommissioned his plane.
Uh-huh.
They did that to my uncle, too.
That was the excuse, yeah, that was the excuse.
No, wait, what happens is they tell you, if you want to train you for another plane,
that's in the Gala book, that's the excuse, and then what happens?
You got to give us a couple more years. If you want to learn how to fly another plane, you give us a couple more years, and we'll spend $1 million or whatever it costs to train you to fly another plane.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't, then you go sit in your ass, and that's what they did. So they got a whole squadron of poor guys sitting on their ass.
So he didn't go sit on his ass. He disappeared and partied for 2 years.
The CEO said just leave a phone number in case the Russians attack, and then they shoot down the one squadron F-102s.
Yeah, okay, pal. Write the book. We'll promote it here on air. Write the book and let us know when it's finished.
And we can talk to the CEO where?
Yeah, right. 567-0560. I mean, I can go back and reach back and get the book again because I read all of that stuff right here. That's the excuse. Plus the fact that he had to go visit his doctor to do that physical. I mean, there's so many lies there that I just don't have time to read them all. After completing flight training in 1970, I continued flying with my unit for the next several years, he says in his autobiography. General William Turnipseed, commander of the Alabama National Guard unit to which Bush had been assigned, said in the Boston Globe May 23rd of this year, had he reported in, I would have had some recall, and I do not. I had been in Texas, done my flight training there. If we had a first lieutenant from Texas, I would have remembered. He never even reported in. Are you following, sir? Over and out. Here's a lady in Pompano Beach. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Okay.
Good. I heard a roommate from George Bush's days wrote a book about George Bush. What happened? It was pulled. Big Daddy evidently paid off again, huh?
I didn't know. What was it called?
I don't know. The biography or something about George Bush. I guess the guys from the school days knew a little bit about it.
Well, I had somebody faxed me a piece yesterday that I read from someone who went to school with him that said he was a moron. That said he was terrified to think that this man could be the president.
But I think that was a foolish thing for that young man to do. He would have had a bestseller, and then perhaps we could have even had a movie about this man in his college days.
Yeah.
That would have been great. That would have been the greatest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Bush family is the most corrupt family in America today, Neil. It's all about power. Daddy Bush was head of the CIA, so he must have something on so many people to have general power.
Yeah, if anybody can't see through the Bush-Cheney connection and the Colin Powell, all of these pieces putting together, it's we're not really voting for W. Those people are being asked to vote for Papa Bush all over again. You know,
that's absolutely right.
He got his ass kicked 8 years ago, and now he's trying to find a way to come in the back door, if I can say that.
Oh, you are so right.
Right.
That's what the whole thing is about.
Okay, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Go vote again. Thanks. 567, by all accounts, heavy-duty voting in the right places. Even downtown Miami, we had a report off the air that downtown is jamming. Lots of dark folks down there came out to vote. And they didn't get no free cigarettes either, I should point out. Because I just can't wait for those accusations to start coming in any minute. 1,621 votes. Gore with 72%. W with 18. Nader 4.9. Harry Brown with 3.3, which I still raise 4 eyebrows when I see that. And Pat Buchanan, 23 votes, 1.4%. 1,621. And counting.
This is 560 QAM. Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
Neil Rogers, that.
Hillary Clinton's approval ratings really high. Can anyone explain what the reason is why?
No.
Never won election or held office in her life. I I guess it comes down to being Billy's wife. Where have you gone, Ricky Lazio? Are you in the witness protection plan? Man, oh man, where have you gone, Ricky Lazio? You've become the invisible man. Get a plan, for God's sakes, man.
Local 1 at 560 WQAM. Let me say it again. Gore's up by 19 points in the last minute poll in New York State. If that's true, and if those people turn out, Ricky Lazio is going to have a real tough time knocking off Swillery, whether you like that or not. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Neil. I was just wondering if you or one of your audience members could help me out. I went to the polling place this morning, and I have an old voter registration card from 96. Since they did the redistricting, my precinct used to be 29. It's now 25.
Right.
My name wasn't on the rolls. I couldn't vote. I've been trying to call the Broward County voters registration, but I can't get through to anybody. So I decided to see if you could help me out.
So what is it, precinct what, 25?
No, it's 25, yes. It used to be 29.
Okay, well, I'm sure that we must have people listening in every precinct, so if anybody can call in and tell us where you go, we'll let you know, because I don't have a list.
Well, the thing is on my voter registration card, it's got the address.
What I don't understand is why couldn't they tell you wherever you went, if you went to the wrong place, why couldn't they look it up and tell you?
Well, it's not the wrong, well, I don't know. The old people working there, I guess, I don't know. It didn't really seem to...
Yeah, the average age where I went this morning in the acres was about 120.
Well, we have a Century Village within a mile of our place.
Okay, so you're looking for 25, right? Precinct 25?
No, I've got... My precinct is 25 now, where I live. They changed it from 29 to 25.
Well, I thought you were asking me where you go vote in precinct 25.
No. See, my problem, I don't... It's not where I go, because on my voter registration card, it says Temple Beth Emmett. It's a school.
Yeah.
And, I can't...
What is the question? I don't understand what the conversation's about. I'm losing it.
Well, the thing is, if I go to District 29, which my card states, the address on my voter registration card is wrong. Would be wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what to do, how to go about voting today.
Well, they ask you, is this, you still live at this address? You still have to go to the one, whatever it says on your card.
Yes, but I'm not on the rolls. And they told me that it's going to take like an hour to find out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'd spend the hour because I'm not. Do you have any idea what he's talking about? No. Sir, here's my best answer. Yeah. 567-0560, pound 560. But thanks for killing 2 minutes, man. I'm telling you, I got a tumor growing just from that call. Here's Miami. Hello.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay, I think.
Yeah, this guy called up 10 minutes ago complaining about giving his hard-earned tax money to parks.
Yeah.
Remember that? And yet he's voting for Gore. I don't understand that. Gore's going to tax the hell out of us.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Huh? How do you know that? Is that what he said?
3 times the size of...
Yeah, there we... Stop reading the campaign propaganda all the way with the 3 times of the Clinton budget. Stop reading me the... No, nobody's impressed by that, okay? You tried your best with that. It didn't work. Nobody cares hearing that same old tired garbage. God, is that pathetic. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon Wireless line. Oh, and for those people who think that everybody connected with Wall Street is in love with Bush and hoping that he wins, Abby Joseph Cohen Schwartz Smith Greenberg, whatever her name is, said that Bush's tax plan and the Social Security plan both are voodoo economics. She didn't use that term. That's Papa's word. Totally ridiculous. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hey, for that guy that couldn't find where to go and vote, Jane Carroll has a website. I think she's the clerk, the voters registration lady, whoever she is.
Right.
Where if you log on to her website, you put in your address, it'll give you your updated precincts and all the information where it's located.
Well, what's the website?
It's Jane. I think all you have to do is put in keyword Jane Carroll or election voters. But it's a Broward County voters site, voters registration site.
Okay.
And it's definitely on there. That's how I found mine.
Okay, thanks.
All right, thanks.
See ya. We gave you the wrong phone number. I did. Palm Beach, if you want a free ride to the poll. The other numbers were right, but the Palm Beach number I wrote down wrong, I guess, or he gave it to me wrong. 561 area code 279-4446 in Palm Beach. 561-279-4446 for anybody who needs a ride to the polls. You still have almost 7 hours. In fact, if you're online at 7 o'clock, even though the polls officially close at 7, if you're online, you can still vote. So I'm going to go and try it again. Here's the mobile in Weston. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, you should have found out who the guy's voting for first before you find out if he where to vote at.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And one thing you said about the polls in the past was that people have a tendency to believe them when they're in their favor.
Right, then no question about it.
Correct.
Well, I mean, if it's real close, or if you've been behind, and then it looks like your guy's catching up, or maybe even going a little bit ahead, it gets your adrenaline going, it gets your juices flowing a little bit, then it makes you feel like it's worthwhile going out and giving it a shot,
Yeah, and if it's in your favor, you tend to believe
Right, that's correct.
2 issues, education and Social Security.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think one of the facts is education's been going downhill for years.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we've had these mobile trailers on school property they just keep building. And why hasn't anything been done in the past on that?
What does that mean?
Well, under the administration, Gore all of a sudden going to solve it now, but he's had a chance to solve it before and hasn't done anything.
They had a chance to solve it?
Well, I know it's a state by state issue. I understand that.
Uh-huh.
So, well, then why is he campaigning that he's going to take care of education?
Well, because they have allocated hundreds of millions of dollars for education. They have allocated money for 100,000 new teachers. So these are all things that they plan on doing.
But is the problem really a money problem? I mean, he seems to solve everything with money.
Well, how do you hire teachers without money?
Well, teachers are one of the issues. But the behavior in classrooms and these kids coming out...
Well, sir, you know something? That was a question that was asked George W. in the third debate. When they talked about how do you legislate getting parents more involved, and he said if there was an answer to that question, I would tell you, and that was the best answer that he gave. How do you legislate children behaving in class? How do you do that?
Well, it's not just strictly a money issue. Let me just spend some more money on education. I mean, $6,000.
In addition to which, how does the behavior of the kids in class, like in Dade County, give kids textbooks to take home? And how does their behavior do that?
No, well, sure, you have to get the smart.
In addition to which, the Bush people want to abolish the Department of Education. I'll say this to George W.'s credit, at least politically, he's smart enough to realize that they had to eliminate that from the Republican platform because it was so embarrassing.
What about on Social Security now?
Yeah.
Because the fact is it's going to run out of money fast.
No, it's not. It absolutely is not. It will never run out of money. Social Security is a sacred cow. I guarantee you no one will ever miss a Social Security payment in this country. It will never happen.
Well,
if they have to steal the money from the IMF, if they have to print extra money, no one will ever miss it. It's a red herring, sir. It's never going to happen.
You think so?
I know so.
But it's a big issue, I'm saying.
It is not a big issue. It's a big issue because these bozos both made it into a big issue instead of Gore coming out and saying, it's still the economy, stupid. That's what he should have been talking about.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big issue, to be honest with you.
Well, okay, thank you. Oh, boy, that was easy. And by the way, you vote right down there at the end of the street. You know that septic tank down there? Just hop right in. That's where you vote. When you get right to the bottom. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Come on, baby. Come play with these titties.
Tonight on Entertainment Tonight. Monica, you got a job as a reporter in England.
You bet.
Tell me a little bit about your new boss.
Gosh, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but he was very tender with me, very affectionate.
Uh-huh.
I think he's a very sensual man who has a lot of sensual feelings.
Really?
He's a good kisser.
What happened?
I think he unbuttoned his shirt.
What are you talking about?
It was a good opportunity. I thought it would be intriguing.
Oh, no, Monica, not again.
He was my sexual soulmate.
That's tonight on Entertainment Tonight. Well, great meeting you, Monica.
You know, I have a crush on you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, definitely keep in touch.
You bet. You bet.
You bet. 1214, you bet your life. At 560 WQM, the Hank Goldberg Show, coming in with 2. 1,650 votes. How do you like that? Are you impressed?
Uh-huh.
I am. In fact, it's reloading right now. Here it goes.
Scored.
Look out, 1,654. Gore with 1196, 72.3%. George W. with 18%. Ralph Nader, 4.8%. Harry Fudge Brown, 3.3%. And Pat Buchanan. Let's hear it for Pat Buchanan. Come on. 23 votes, 1.3%. At least he's consistent, you know. He's got that one, and he's been stuck with it like right along. Almost every poll, he's got 1. And a percent, too. Here's Miami Springs. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Happy belated birthday.
Thanks.
This past Sunday, I got a glimpse on TV of GW at the FIU
right.
meeting they had. Did you get to see Ileana Ross
she was having orgasms.
I thought she was going to crawl right up his rectum. She was like hovering right on his backside.
Exactly, taking pictures of him. She was having orgasms. This was incredible. Truly incredible. Also talking about G.W., his famous quote at the same rally, he's talking about how his little brother's gubernatorial race, and quote, was almost side-railed by Democrats in 94.
Side-railed, yeah.
Exactly. Well, if my math serves me correct, little brother has been governor since 98, not 94. It's incredible that people will actually go out and vote for this. I don't have a word to describe this idiot.
Well, he ran in 94 and got his ass kicked by a dead man walking Lawton. And he just barely beat another dead man last time.
Right, but what I was quoting was he made it sound like his brother has been governor since 94.
Well, don't confuse him with the facts now. Come on.
You're correct. Okay, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You mighty call.
Okay. See. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in West Palm. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
We love you up in West Palm. First-time caller.
All right.
Hey, listen, gay guy here, and just a plea for everyone in the Tri-County area to get the hell off your ass and get out and vote today.
Okay.
You know, I got a couple of guys that I work with, and they are jumping up and down about George Bush, and I'm just sick about it. Log cabin Republican types, Rich Taffa wannabes. What's up with that?
That beats me. Self-hating fags. It's, Jews for Hitler all over again.
Jews for Hitler all over again.
Fags for homophobia, blacks for racism. I mean, there's always going to be a few. It's just like that J.C. Watt in Oklahoma. There's always got to be a few.
You just want to slap them around and bring them back into reality.
Well,
but
there's no sense, there's no feeling, right?
There's no hope. But all you gay folks, you get out and you vote, and vote often.
40 times.
And I'm out of material, Neil.
Okay, God bless you, sir.
Take care.
Butch up. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. They're voting, baby. Here's Al Gore voting in Elmwood, Tennessee.
Who they were going to vote for in these elections, and then a couple of their kids now going into the voting booth today.
They're tipping a few.
I was going to say that a little later on, his mother, who is 87 years old, is going to be coming and voting.
Talk about a staged event. They got a bunch of little school kids all sitting on the floor there in the back. Now, what is this?
Very long either to make.
And they got a little girl or a student who's reading some crap.
The vice president, and he is going to speak.
Involved in issues related to mental health, education, and homelessness. Miss Gore grew.
Oh, he's introducing Tipper. Oh, jeez. I'm getting the willies hearing about that. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. By the way, I have a very important and strong message to somebody that sent me about a 3-page fax about, a little under an hour ago. I have a message for you, okay?
You're gay.
Yeah. No, the fax was from Norma. See, you're reading a little bit too much into it.
You're gay.
Yeah. Or, here's a lady in Plantation. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, I need to spread the word. I heard I'm a Broward voter, and apparently there's a misalignment on some of the Broward ballots, and it's affecting the vote for Gore.
How the hell is that possible?
Well, I just heard it on the news before I came in, and I had to call and let you know, because I noticed it when I was voting. I went to punch for Gore, and I noticed that the ticket was a bit misaligned, and now they're saying that some of the votes for Gore are actually going to Buchanan because of it.
Yeah, somebody called about that earlier.
Okay.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand it, but I vote in Plantation, not too far from you, and I noticed it on mine, and I thought it was my, I thought it was in my
head.
So
what are they going to do about that?
I don't know. But I want to vote. I want to spread the word to check your ballot after it comes out and make sure that it's in fact punch for Gore and not for Buchanan.
Okay.
Okay?
And go back and give them hell.
Yeah, I think we all should give them hell.
Okay.
We got to redo all the Broward votes.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
How do you like that? Yeah, I think in Broward they should let us all vote again. Yeah. All the people that voted for Gore, just in case it got screwed up there, because, when they wind up with hundreds of thousands of votes for Buchanan, they're going to know something's fishy, so they ought to let us all vote again. I still got my voter registration card ready. I can go back again, just to make sure. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think the people of color are going to be voting, given that hate crime comments of inaction of Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it here at a kind of mixed area, quite a few black and Asians. Now, I want to talk about a few people. Nader, we'll start with Nader.
Please.
If it actually turns the election I think he should be strapped into the front of a Corvair and run into a wall at about 60 miles an hour.
Or they should just take the fan belt and put it around his neck.
Well, he complained about,
because they break anyway.
The engine in the back business.
Mm-hmm.
Perot, do you think maybe he's looking for a position if Bush wins?
Looking for a position?
Some sort of
he ought to be looking for the prone position. At Larry's feet, I think that's what he was looking for.
And here's another character that ought to be thought about. It's Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
No more monkey movies for him, or playing Moses. He's over as far as pictures are concerned, but I think he's found a permanent stage with the NRA.
I think he's wackier than a bedbug. I think he's nuts.
He loves it.
I mean, when you use it, he's a poster child for the term gun nut, and believe me, underline the nut part.
Well, we can only hope if Bush wins that several things happen. The Democrats win the House and maybe narrow the Senate to win it. And they fight his ass big time, if you excuse the expression.
Okay.
And Hillary in 2004.
Yeah, likely story. Hillary in 2004. What do you say to that?
No.
No way, Jose. Get that bitch out of there. You know, these people that actually seriously talk, like some of these so-called pundits on TV about, well, you know, if she wins this Senate race, she's and the Democrats lose the White House here, if Gore loses, she's certainly going to be the front runner for 2004. Does anybody believe that?
No.
There are more people that hate her like poison. And let me say it again. Gore is up by almost 20 points, 19 points in the last poll in New York. And she's got a life-and-death struggle to try to beat a little unknown punk, Rick Lazio, that nobody ever even heard of. Newt Gingrich Jr. Get serious. Like so many people have said, she's basically running against herself. Here's the lady in Boca. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I just called to let you guys know that they're misaligned up here in Palm Beach County as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
How is that possible?
I put the little slip in this morning, and you know how you got the two pegs up on top?
Right.
And I went through and I thought maybe it was the way that I put it in, that how the little pegs are on towards the bottom, and I checked the alignment on that.
Mine fit in there perfect, in the ballot, too.
Yeah, but it was misaligned on where you punch.
No, not mine.
No, mine did, because I definitely checked it.
Well, then what happens after you checked it? What do they do then?
Well, no, I was checking the card to make sure that I had set it in there perfectly.
Right.
Yeah, and it was in there, and you have to look because it's confusing. You got to go down a little bit. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch offset.
So, in other words, you made sure that you got it right, though.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, well, I hope that everybody who votes between now and 7, take a look at your card in there and make sure that you're punching it in the right hole.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks. And the little pen, too. Make sure you're punching it in the right hole. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon. Well, as a matter of fact, George is going to be doing a series of shows on that. People who continually punch it in the wrong hole. Oh, we already did that? Here's Margate. Hello.
Hey, mine's a little crooked to begin with, but once I put it in, it fit pretty good.
And how about the card?
Well, that too.
Okay.
A couple of things. One, my only political thing, if I'm a little, because I've been on the hold for a long time.
That's okay.
If anybody wants to check on the computer, it's digitalcity.com, and there's a little screen to put your address in, and then it'll give you your polling place.
Digitalcity.com.
Digitalcity.com. I did it last night because I couldn't find my card, so
okay.
It took me a while to find it. The other thing is about your Murray brothers.
Yeah.
When the team went to Arizona a couple of weeks ago,
there
was a half a dozen of the players that were spending so much time banging a couple of the flight attendants and trying to find them in the stands, well, because they weren't in the seats they were supposed to be in. They couldn't locate them. They were spending their time on the ice.
Well, what were they going to do? Do them in the stands? Is that it?
They just were pretty enthralled by these two. That's how
I see.
They were pretty enthralled by these two girls, so they were.
Well, how do you know this? Were you on the plane?
Well, I know a couple of people who were.
Okay.
So maybe that's a little more fuel to get rid of those two jerks.
Okay, thanks for the good news. Like I said, get the berets for the Murrays. That's what we want. Even up. Get Valerie on there, then we'll have both berets, and we'll throw in both Murrays as a package deal. And we'll take Derek Morris and Jerome McGinley, too. How do you like that? Is that going to happen?
No.
No, but we got a 70-year-old guy out there. Woo! 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. I'll tell you, Brian, you sure got a great sense of humor, man. And don't forget, bang, bang, bang! We'll pack you both a sandwich. Maybe we can get Scott and Ira to pack some sandwiches for the Murray boys on their way out. Like when they get on that bus. Yeah. Pack them a big one. 25 past noon at 560 WQM.
Salespeople are iceholes.
George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. The rich spoiled brat and the cocaine junkie. What's he gonna do with all that campaign money? He don't give a crap about people going hungry. But don't confuse him with the facts. We can't find your rap sheet. It just disappeared. We're looking all over and it still ain't here. Hey, Georgie Jr., where'd your rap sheet go? Are you afraid that we'll find out that you did blow? You were a rich college kid, a drunken party punk, and you got pinched for possession of drugs. But a rich bitch like you can hire a judge to get some Ajax, Splendor, and a big hedge fund. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Come on! George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. George Bush Jr. is a piece of shit. Georgie Jr. is a piece of shit.
She has to deodorize the room because Todd Dreck has got such bad stench mouth, bad breath. Not the fact that he don't look so good either, and is a real pain in the ass and a dunderhead who thinks that he thinks that Abe Lincoln is running, is what he said. Something like that. Boy, don't knock our sales department's collective IQ, man. We can't find it. Here's the Mobile and Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
George Bush sucks.
Yeah.
Anybody that goes and votes for him is a retard. I was talking with a couple of Jamaican guys, maintenance guys at an apartment complex that you.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were out of their mind upset. They're like, man, I can't even believe anyone would vote for that jerk. They got to make the voting a little easier. I live out by Cemetery Village in Pembroke Pines.
Uh-huh.
They got some old lady that's like 130 years old reading the voter register.
Right.
She's got these Coke bottle glasses. There's a line with 300 people in it, standing there. Everybody's got to get to work. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning, right when it opens. And she's trying to find people's names. You could hear everybody in line right at the desk going, there's my name right there.
That's what happened with me. I got up to the desk and the woman says, oh, let me get my glasses. This 400-year-old woman. And she goes back into her purse and she's learning. Wouldn't you think that before she sat down and they opened the lines up that she might have thought about that in the first place if she can't read?
And another thing, that Broward monorail thing.
Just say
no. Exactly. If we want another one of them metro movers, it's going to have to get bailed out by the federal government.
Yeah, this is the bullet train with funding from heaven, I guess, so nobody has any idea where it's going to come from. The answer is just say no to that.
Yeah. And Bush Cheney, you're gay.
Okay. Thanks for the bulletin. 1,700 votes even. 1,700 Pennsylvania Avenue. Huh? Oh, it's just changing again. Boy, I hate when that happens. Just when we get to a very nice number. Al Gore, 1,226, 72%. George W., 306, 18%. Ralph Nader, 83, 4.8%. Harry Brown, 60, 3.5%. And Pat Buchanan, oh, it's my Pat Buchanan allergy. 25, 1.4%. Pull it out the rear again, Pat. And by the way, nice hairdo. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Gore's a baby killer.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for the good news. Put that on the news. Oh, we don't have any news? I'm sorry. Put it on the news station. Gore's a baby killer.
Yeah, so's Yahweh.
Uh-huh. Now, what about that abortion we were reading about yesterday? Oh, that was Bush? 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Here's Miramar. Hello.
Neil, hold on.
Neil. Yes, sir.
Jacob, how's it going, bro?
Hey, Jacob, how are you?
Pretty good. Just got done voting.
2 or 3 times? Yeah. Now, did you have any trouble sticking your thing in there?
Actually, it was a little crooked. However, I had the brains to go back and make sure that, the most important...
Number 3 is supposed to be the Gore hole button.
Number 3 is the Gore hole?
Number 3.
The Gore hole.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Well, I sure hope I didn't screw up my thing, now that I'm getting paranoid.
Nah, I'm sure you did it right. Vote for Gore, everybody, and if W. Bush wins, what time's our flight leave tomorrow for Amsterdam?
11:30.
Perfect. Thanks, bud.
See you there, Jacob.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 11:30 tomorrow night, we're all leaving on a jet plane. Now, what is that?
They look like sandwiches.
From
Atlantic City Sub.
Oh, it is from Atlantic City Sub, so I didn't recognize him, that gentleman. That just
I didn't call him.
I didn't call him either.
Maybe it's just
I am going to Mommy's for lunch, but that would be like a little...
What was it probably for all of the people that are filming Hank and taping Hank because he's winning that award, the March of Dimes thing, the Air Awards?
What do you mean it's for them?
I don't know. For like all the company we're having today.
No.
Well,
it is not for them.
We're going to pick through it.
It's not for them. What makes you think it would be for them?
Because we didn't call them.
Yeah.
And the guy said that, Scott just said to bring it to WQAM. So maybe we're stealing somebody
we got it. I don't care if we're stealing that. How much am I going to eat anyway? I have to go to lunch after the show anyhow, so just a little appetizer, and that's it. And then how much ever you schlep out of here and take home, like you always do, because it's all about free. Isn't it all about free?
Uh-huh.
That's up to you. We don't give a crap about those guys. What are they ever given to us? Huh? Crap. I mean, the morning guys, at least once for a while there, they had the Dunkin' Donuts guys coming in here who came all the way from Palm Beach County. We don't see them anymore. That made Friday morning worth coming in for. Haven't seen them in a coon's age. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How are you, sir?
I always like Krispy Kreme anyway. Pretty good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I got a little voting story for you. I went to Pine Island Ridge Country Club to vote, and as I was walking in, this old guy, he must have been probably about 150 years old, said, is this your first time here? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, I've already been here twice to vote. And the first thing I thought of is you saying vote early and often. So as far as my card, I didn't have any problem getting it in. And I didn't.
I understand that that's obviously happening because we had several calls about it, but I must have been one of the lucky ones because mine slid right in there.
Yeah, mine did too.
My card too, yeah.
I don't know, but like you say, vote early and often. Have a good one, sir.
Okay, nice one. Here's Thomas L. Friedman writes today in the New York Times, I love D.C. He says, I realize this is a bit late, but I just have one last question for George W. Bush. Throughout this campaign, the Texas governor has repeated the mantra that the government surplus is your money, it's not the government's money. Fine, but then whose money is the national debt? Is that our money too, or is that somebody else's money? To listen to Mr. Bush during this campaign, you'd think that all the surpluses belong to the voters and all the debts belong to the government, to Washington, D.C., the enemy of the people, that disembodied entity that sucks up your tax dollars for no good reason and offers nothing in return. Well, nobody knows who's going to win today's election, but I do know this. If it's Governor Bush, I sure hope he doesn't believe the nonsense he's been peddling. His repeated denigration of Washington and government in general manifests a profound ignorance of what makes America unique in the world today, which happens to be the strength, quality, and yes, breadth of our government. Indeed, had Mr. Bush actually traveled abroad more than twice, he would have discovered that what foreigners envy us most for is precisely Washington. That is, our institutions, our courts, our bureaucracy, our military, and our regulatory agencies, the SEC, the Federal Reserve, the FAA, the FDA, the FBI, the EPA, the IRS, the INS, the U.S. Patent Office, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency. I took part in a seminar 2 weeks ago at Nanjing University in China, and I can still hear a young Chinese graduate student pleading for an answer to her question, how do we get rid of all our corruption? Do you know what your average Chinese would give to have a capital like Washington today with its reasonably honest and efficient bureaucracy? Do you know how unusual we are in the world that we don't have to pay off bureaucrats to get the simplest permit issued? Do you know how much your average Indonesian would give to have Indonesia's stock market overseen for one day by Arthur Levitt of the SEC? Do you know how much your average Russian would give for a week of Joel Klein and Janet Reno busting Russia's oligarchs and monopolists? Mr. Bush likes to say that the government didn't create the surplus, the energy, and the entrepreneurship of the American people. No kidding. But it is precisely the quality of our government institution that creates the framework for that entrepreneurship to flourish. In his smart new book, The Mystery of Capital, Hernando de Soto answers the question why capitalism succeeds in the West and fails in so many other places. His key conclusion, good political institutions and property law are the ingredients that have constantly enabled entrepreneurs in the West to succeed, and their absence elsewhere explains why this failed. How many software innovations could Bill Gates have made without patents to protect them, asked Mr. DeSoto? How many deals and long-term projects could he have carried out without enforceable contracts? The more I travel abroad, the more I appreciate Washington, and I'm not just talking about the monuments and the cherry blossoms. I'm talking about all the gray buildings where all those faceless bureaucrats who are paid by your tax dollars and mine work in anonymity. I thank God every day I live in a country that has Washington as its capital with all those gray institutions. On one level, it's absurd that Governor Bush, whose father was a congressman, chairman of the Republican Party, CIA director, vice president, and president, has been running as a Washington outsider. But on another level, it's true because however much time Mr. Bush spent at his father's home in Washington, he never seems to have absorbed what President Bush deeply understood, that it is precisely the size, strength, and quality of our government that gave him the moral and the power and moral standing to lead the free world at the end of the Cold War. It's hard to know what George W. Bush really believed, but if we take him at his word, Governor Bush's problem is not that he doesn't know the capital of Kazakhstan or Nigeria. No, his problem is that he doesn't know the capital of the United States. He doesn't understand that the very thing he's been running against is precisely what makes us not only special in the world, but the envy of the world as well. Nice going as usual, Thomas Friedman. Hey! Your time today. Nice going, Tommy boy. 20 before 1 at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
How young is too young?
I came along when TV was just getting started. On the Tonight Show, that's where I did it big. But that was before I died. Now if you just close my eyes and grab a shovel and start a hole to dig. Remember when my show back then was a riot? Back in those days I played close to the edge. But then I grew old in time, eventually lost my mind. When shocking humor made me flip my wig. I wrote 5,000 songs and books since my career began. There's no knowing when your life will end. If you're too young to know what my show was like back then just tune in and watch David Letterman. I was married to Jane, but always wanted Audrey. Had to keep my mouth shut living with that bitch. No reason to wonder why that I just up and died. So grab a shovel and start a hole to dig. And make sure that I still have on my wig.
It's 12:45 at 560 WQM. Now somebody, I don't know who this is, but somebody out there has their psychic thing rolling. They got their little globe out. They're rubbing it, and the ball too. This is a breakdown of the Electoral College. I guess somebody's prediction here for the election today, and I'm looking down the list. He's got Gore 273 votes, which is 3 more than needed, and Bush 265, which is 5 less than needed. And I'm looking at the thing, and it doesn't look unreasonable. Gore gets California, Connecticut, Washington, D.C., Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Vermont, Washington, and Wisconsin, and gets 273 with that scenario. So like I said, he must win Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida, but the polls show he's ahead in all 3. And with the voter turnout we're getting in Florida today, we got a shot. Oh! Yeah. See, what they really want to do is they want to psych people out. They want you to think, first of all, they don't want the Nader people to think it's real close or that they're going to waste their vote and throw it over to Bush. And number 2, they want the Gore people to feel like it's a waste of time, so why even bother? And, of course, by doing that, in states like California, especially in other West Coast states, they also figure they can hang on to some of those congressional seats that they're on the verge of losing. Like that Jim Rogan out there, they're talking about a bad hairdo. Wow, you know what I'm talking about? Man.
Jim Rogan.
Jim Rogan. That's what he needs. He don't need Rogan, he needs Rogan. Well, have plenty of time to smear it on. Yeah. It's pills, isn't it, Rogan? What is it? Hey, well, like I said, he can chop them up in a blender and smear it on.
I think it involves a hat.
You can smear it on his
rectum.
Yeah, because he's out. Even his own people out there say, well, bye-bye, Jimmy. Yeah. Mr. Penisgate. And don't forget Bill McCollum down here. Howdy doody. How could anybody vote for Bill McCollum? How could it even be reasonably close? In fact, when you grab the ballot, the first thing you should be looking for, the first thing you should say when you go to get that ballot when they hand it to you is,
where is Nelson?
Yeah, where do I punch for Bill Nelson? And be sure and take a look at that ballot when you finish punching the holes, because based on the stuff we're hearing today, it sounds really suspicious. And why would that be in Broward and Palm Beach, do you think? That they've got them just a little out of whack, so that a lot of the Gore votes are going to wind up getting screwed up if that happens? Another good reason to vote 3 or 4 times, just to make sure. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Pretty good.
I stuck my little poke in the right hole today.
Good.
There's
Did
a
you
blue
vote?
cutie on the corner of Oakland and Andrews holding a sign that reads, "Bush is a canker sore, no more Bush it."
Oh, and I love it.
Well, I know if Bush wins, all the comedians have great material for the next 4 years, but when Gore wins, I know my son has a job when he gets out of college.
There you go.
Hey, Neil, loan me $50.
Okay, see ya. Get out of here. Go stick it in there again. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, I'm a Gore volunteer.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to say I've spoken to already like 24 people that are voting for Bush because of you. You're losing.
Yeah, yeah. Soon as the first word out of his mouth, the first word we knew was one of those little...
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, Neil. Go back and get back into your spot or somebody's going to take your place in that circle jerk, sweetheart. You better get back in there fast. Get a grip, sweetie. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Go back down there and see if you can find some illegal aliens for us. Because once this election's over, we need something to sink our teeth into. Here's a mobile in Vero Beach. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes, Milt Schmidt here.
Yeah.
And, anyway, where do I get Dickens' T-shirt, Neil?
Where do you get it?
Yeah. At your
Insider
website?
T-shirt?
At your website?
Dickinsider.com.
Dickinsider.com.
Dickinsider.com. Okay, great. See you tomorrow night at the Panthers game, then.
I'll be there, Pat.
Hey, go Habs, not go Habs, go Panthers, though, excuse me.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir, whatever you're saying. He's out of control. The Habs, they suck. But, you know, then there's those Panthers. And now that we got that 60-year-old guy, that Jerry Adams guy, I thought he was from Ireland, isn't he? See, I saw the headline. I thought maybe we got Kevin Adams, you know, who the Leafs didn't protect. We got Greg Adams, 37 years old. We got Igor Larionov. He's 39. Terry and Brian are trying to get the team. So you've got to get guys who can relate to them, who are a little bit older. Maybe we can get that little frog out of retirement, too. The hell's his name that played for Dallas and Montreal? Guy Carbonneau. Yeah, I'm asking George names of kind. Well, you know, this might come to you like in some kind of a vision, like some kind of apparition. Yeah, you never know. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Neil, how you doing today?
All right.
Hey, two things that have persuaded me to vote Gore.
Yes?
First of all, the Elian Gonzalez supporters, the so-called Green Teeth people down in Miami. You know,
the Green Teeth. Yeah, we got the Green Party and the Green Teeth, and they both make me sick.
And second, anything Wayne Huizenga is affiliated with, you know he's a Republican.
Yeah, he's the biggest contributor in Florida for Bush.
Yeah, that's
he was flying Howdy Doody McCollum around his private plane yesterday.
That guy, anything he's affiliated with, I'm against.
Run the other way, that's right.
Also, what is Governor Jeb Bush, what does he plan to do about the cankers I have on my balls?
He's going to come down there and lick them, probably. That's what I'm hearing. He's got a solution for everything, man.
Just lick them.
That's what he said. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. That was a low. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
All right.
Last Gringo in Hialeah voted for Gore.
How about that? I wonder how many Gore votes there were in Hialeah. 3 or 4, you think?
Here's something I saw on the ballot. They stuck in Hialeah to see if they wanted to build a baseball stadium in Hialeah.
No.
A referendum on the ballot.
How could they do that?
I don't know. It was on the ballot. No. Voted no.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that it was really on the ballot in Hialeah?
Yeah. Do they want to take public funds and money from the county and the state and bond issues to build a baseball stadium in Hialeah?
How come we never heard anything about that? I'm looking to see if I don't have a Dade, Harold, because that would have the things on the ballot in Dade.
It was the last page just in Hialeah.
And, of course,
everybody
said
no.
No.
Yeah, I voted no.
Anyway,
I wanted to thank on the air the guys for waiting for me and a buddy of mine for the CDs a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
All right, Neil. Vote early, vote often.
Go, Leafs, go. 567-0560. This is pretty interesting, this breakdown that the guy sent me here. 273 to 265. Pretty tense. And those of us Gore people, we have to really hope like hell that they didn't blow it in California with all those 54 electoral votes. Getting cocky and taking it for granted, not spending one dime of advertising money out there. And then the Bush people put on the big push, the Bush push, right there at the end. And last night it was like within a razor's hair after being like 10, 12, 15 points ahead. It was like a lock. It was almost like New York State. They were so far ahead at one point, and they let most of that kind of like slip through their fingers.
In Palm Beach County, it's punch number 5, by the way, for Gore.
See, I don't want to give numbers out and confuse people. When you get the ballot, it's very clear. I mean, it is so clear that even a
more... Not from these people.
What do you mean by that?
All the misalignment people making it sound like it's...
How many years have I not voted? About 100 years since I voted. I took the card. I mean, all you got to do is see how it works. They got to, if there's any misunderstanding, before you go to where they have your name written down and they check your ID and your voter registration card, before you go to that, there's a guy sitting there and he says, do you need any help, any instructions? And he's showing some little girl who's just standing there with her. I think she voted too, about 10 years old. How you slip it in there? Which we should have called the cops at that point. No, seriously, he was showing how you slip the card over the little prongs and you punch it. And I went up there and I got my card. I went through the whole song and the dance. I stuck it on there. There was no problem. And don't look for a number. Look for what it says, for Christ's sakes. If you can't read George W. Bush or Al Gore or Harry S. Brown or Ralph Nader, if you can't read the names on there, then what the hell business you got voting in the first place? And if you got some kind of like special visual or any kind of handicap, it says right there, they have a big sign, we have special arrangements. If you're handicapped, if you're like a mental midget, if you're some kind of a total bozo and you can't do this, we'll help you. We'll make it up for you. And I believe that. They probably do make it up for it, whatever way they want to go. These craggy old farts. Well, listen, the craggy old farts, those are the ones that are terrified with their Social Security. So like I said, let them cast another couple of votes. It's the least we can do to thank them for their hard work on this election day. 12:55. Wait a minute. What's this?
Necessarily believe that, Roger. Not everybody thinks that it's irresponsible.
He's fine. He sounds like one of those figure skaters.
Data is to decide on their own whether to go to the voting booth or not.
But is it a restraint of trade?
It's a restraint of the sale of truthful news. Absolutely. If it was another product, Roger, there's not a shadow of a doubt. Suppose all of them got together and agreed we won't have more than 3 acts of violence on any show.
But Mark, let me ask you, well, then it appears to me that we should have 3 days of voting in California so that we can kind of catch up.
Nice going, Juanita. Right on, sweetheart. You go, girl. 12:56 at 560 QAM.
This is 560 QAM. Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. WQAM.com for the world.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour. It's a phenomenon.
Want to see it. Look at how tough I can be. I'll buy whatever they tell me. I ran to the dealer and bought me an SUV. Driving around New York City, coming out of the 90s today. I'm still thrilled by the allow me, because I got the way of my SUV. I'm so crazy inside. Now I'll paradise. Driving inside, get your tickets, and your hat, nothing to fear. I know that I'll never flip it. I know that I'll understand about
It's 1 o'clock right on the snots here at 560 WQAM. You got 6 hours to go, baby. Get out there and vote, and vote, and vote, and vote. Big, huge turnouts, especially here in South Florida, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach. What are those numbers again, Neil? I'm glad you asked. In case you don't have a ride to the polls. Here's free ride to the polls in Dade County, 305-354-2770. Oh, yeah. George just stole Boca Brian's I voted, illegal aliens voting. We believe it?
No.
Voted in spirit. Nice try. Back on the boat. Dade County, 305-354-2770. If you need a free ride to the polls in Broward, 954-923-8488. 923-8488. And in Palm Beach, 561-279-4446. 279-4446. And don't forget, when you get your card and you stick it in the slot there, make sure it's lined up right. And make sure when you take it out, you punched all the right holes. Because it sounds to me really a little bit on the bizarre side. Wouldn't it be something if it turned out that Buchanan won the election based on, they just shoved up the holes in there a couple of notches. Here's the facts. Lying under oath, Bush and Company squelch investigation of contributors' funeral homes. In a so far successful attempt to stop a scandal, Bush perjured himself under oath according to the sworn testimony of two of his political allies. The situation is amazingly similar to Clinton's Lewinsky problem. A potentially damaging lawsuit arose that threatened to involve him. Just like Clinton, Bush swore an affidavit that he had no involvement in the case, which got him excused from testifying. And just like Clinton, the affidavit was proven false months later by the new evidence. In this case, it's the recent sworn testimony of Robert McNeil, a Bush appointee, that he had discussed the case with the Bush at a fundraiser. The scandal isn't as sexy as Monica's, but perjury is perjury, and this scandal actually involves the governor's job, not his sex life. Texas State Commission on Funeral Homes, the TFSC, started an investigation of SCI, the world's largest funeral company, with 3,442 homes plus 433 cemeteries, after complaints that unlicensed apprentices were embalming corpses at two SCI embalming centers. The commission visited a couple of these and ended up fining SCI $450,000. But SCI pulled strings with the commission and with Bush himself. Shortly thereafter, the investigation was shut down and the agency's investigator was fired. She sought to question Bush for her lawsuit, and that's when he swore his admittedly false affidavit. In fact, that affidavit has been proven false twice now. And this goes on at great length. At great length. Bush simply didn't show up for his scheduled deposition on July 1st, 1999 in the case. He isn't a defendant in the case because governors are immune from lawsuits in Texas, but is being called as a material witness. He filed his affidavit on July 20th to indicate he had nothing to add. Now Robert McNeil, who was chairman of the Texas Funeral Commission at the time, a Bush appointee, confirms that he also discussed the case with Bush at a 1998 Texas fundraiser. In a sworn deposition, McNeil says that Bush asked him, "Have you and Mr. Waltrip got your problems worked out?" Replied McNeil, "We're still trying to work on that, Governor." Bush then said, "Do your job." Bush's campaign says that McNeil's statement is false, but the language McNeil says Bush used is almost identical to what he admits saying to Johnny Rogers in the governor's office, which it also details in here, which it's too long to read the whole thing. How do you like that? But he's going to bring morality and two shoes this back to Washington, D.C., a place that he don't like too much. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I just coined a phrase or a definition, and I wanted to run it by you to get your opinion, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any person who is paralyzed by the fear of getting out of their house and going to the polls to vote Democratic is an agoraphobic.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Not bad.
Question for you. After I finished voting this morning, I went to the post office to pick up my company mail, and I had my, I vote I did sticker on my chest. And this young African-American guy said to me, "Oh, I already voted." And I said, "Oh, good for you." He said, "But I don't have a sticker because I voted Saturday." I said, "What do you mean? What, you voted Saturday?" He said, "Yeah, most people don't know you can vote ahead of time like that." And I said, "Well, what, did you write in or something like that? I mean, did you, was it a proxy vote or what?" And he said, "No, we went down, there was about 500 of us, and we casted our votes." I said, "How is that possible?" He said, "Well, it can be done." Do you know anything about that? I mean, how can you vote before the poll?
I don't know what Saturday surprises the hell out of me, but I do know, for example, yesterday they were lined up 8 zillion long for the absentee ballots. You can go, they have locations where you can go and cast absentee ballots. Not at all the polling places, but they have locations set up in all counties where you can actually go and cast your absentee ballot without mailing it in.
When though? I mean, that's 3 days before.
I don't know what the parameters are. Well, but you say not 3 days before. Some people mail in their absentee ballots weeks before the election.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I asked him that, and he said, no, not absentee. I actually cast my ballot.
No.
I didn't think so. And one other point, Rush Limbaugh's got to be praying that Gore wins this election.
Yeah, he'll have nothing to talk about.
That's right.
And he'll be on the defensive again. Yeah. Okay, have a great day, sir.
Thanks, Neil.
A slavish press connives to hide GW's shady side. This looks something like some good stuff. It's not only his drunk driving arrest Bush has lied about. Haven't we already, I think, done this one? I think so. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 1,700 and some odd. It's changing again on there. We're getting close. 1,769. See, I'm making that up again. Am I making it up?
No.
That's what it says. Al Gore, 1,279, 72.3%. George W. Bush, 318, 17.9%. Ralph Nader, 85, 4.8%. Harry Brown, 62, 3.5%. Pat Buchanan, 25, still hanging in there with his 1.4%. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Happy Election Day, Neil.
Thank you so much.
This is not a hard vote, Neil. I voted for Al Borzhead Gore. You know what I don't like, Neil, is these polls I see on TV, the Gallup poll, CNN poll. You know, you must think Bush must have a telemarketing room, redialing his voting 24 hours a day. I'm a courier.
I don't think any one of them has any idea. I think that they're all full of crap. I don't think we have any idea what's going to happen because nobody knows who's really turning out today.
Neil, listen, I'm a courier. I drive all over Miami. I mean, I've been in North Miami Beach so far today, driven through Hialeah already, Miami Lakes. I've seen nothing but Gore supporters on all the corners. I haven't seen any Bush supporters. And a lot of these young Cuban people are voting. A lot of these young Cuban people are voting for Gore too.
Really?
I mean, all these offices I go to for my pickups, I talk about the election to the people, and all I'm hearing is Gore, Gore, Gore. How is Bush even, in the race?
Well, in South Florida, he's not.
I understand that, but in South Florida, it's supposed to be close to a toss-up. But I'm telling you, 90 out of 100 people.
Where do you come up with that it's supposed to be close to a toss-up? That's not true at all. South Florida is where Gore's got to win huge. It's not supposed to be close to a toss-up. You're getting confused by those Green Tooth Brigade, There aren't that many of them.
Neil, what about those Supreme Court justices? Did you vote against that or did you vote for that?
Did I vote against it?
Yeah, did you
I voted for it.
You voted for it? Okay. I did that too, keep him in office. All right, Neil, you have a great day.
And have a great life. Good luck to us all. Now what Tiny Tim said, something like that? I think Tiny Tim said,
Neil, God!
Bless us all. 8 minutes after 1 at 560 WQF.
Get the best of Neil Rogers 2000. A benefit for Planned Parenthood. Just go to a Specs Music Store near you or WQAM.com on the net. The best of Neil 2000 with great hits like...
So, Paula Jones, you got a new nose. That don't impress me much.
And who could forget the Neil Rogers keychain with great sound effects like...
It puts the lotion in the basket.
That's the American f***ing way.
Oh, those timeless classics. The best of Neil Rogers 2000 from Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Enough for the talking.
Welcome to Cleo's new driving school phone line that you get a ticket for.
Well, I drove backwards across 6 lanes to the sidewalk, and that white devil, he yelled at me.
Well, don't you worry about a thing. You just keep on driving like you feel, honey, okay? Okay. Someone caught in front of you, or you don't know where you be, you just keep on driving angry. Next call is from Bensonhurst.
Hey, can you teach me how to drive a bus?
Oh, that's easy. I myself used to drive a bus for the Gotham Bus Company.
Hey, Ralph, we going bowling tonight?
Shut up, Norton.
Jeez, what a grouch.
If driving a car terrorizes you, just let Cleo tell you how to drive. Call today for $700 a minute, and I will be pleased to tell you where you can go and how to get there slowly and angrily.
Call now. Steal a cell phone and dial 1-800-GREAT-GOOGLY-MOOGLY.
Okay, 113 is, well, just call us. We'll tell you where to go. Here's a great website, Democrats.com. Big piece here about Bush's military records that just seemed to vanish on election eve. Bush aides possibly altered National Guard records to conceal grounding and missed duty. Aides to Texas Governor George W. Bush visited the Air National Guard archives at Camp Mabry in 1997 and possibly altered Bush's military service record to conceal Bush's grounding from flight in 1972 and subsequently missed duty, according to a former senior official of the Texas National Guard. This is a lot of the stuff that's in the Begala book, but goes on at much greater length with more detail. You'll find some real good reading on this website, www.democrats.com. Here's a lady in Plantation. Hello. Hello? Lady in Plantation. Now, see, I don't want to hang up on her, because I know she must be there. Hello? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, hi, how you doing? This
Good.
is my first time calling ever a radio station.
Great.
I probably shouldn't, but I voted for Al Gore, and I'm just really strong for him. And I also voted this morning, and when I pulled out my card, the dot did say under Buchanan. I got really nervous. But then when you look at the booklet says Al Gore is number 3, so the third dot was punched. So I assume everything was okay with it.
Now, say that again.
Okay, the actual card, when you slide it in,
Right.
and you punch the hole for Al Gore,
Right.
when you pull out the card and you actually look at the card, the dot is under the name of Buchanan. But then if you look back at the booklet, it says Bush is number 2, Al is number 3, and Buchanan is 4.
Right.
So when you look at the dot, it's the third dot. So I assume that, I don't know why they would put the names on the actual card.
Starting to get a little paranoid now, aren't we?
Yeah, well, no, it actually got me upset this morning.
Because I never looked at the card once I pulled it out, because I assumed, everything was in line, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I just punched them, and there didn't seem to be any problem. I never bothered looking at it again, because I had full confidence that everything was right in line to where I punched it.
My mistake was looking at the card.
Yeah.
And then I got all nervous because the dot is under Buchanan.
Everybody in town is going like, what's dot?
Well, you know when you punch the hole, I should say?
Yeah.
The hole is under Buchanan's name. So then I thought, oh my God, I didn't line up the card right, so I put it back in, and I was like, did I line up the card?
Well, as long as it was lined up next to Gore's name, that's all that counts. That's why they have you do it that way.
Okay, and I won't keep repeating, but the book shows Gore is number 3.
Right.
The hole shows number 3.
Right.
But on the card itself, where the hole is...
You're okay. You're okay, sweetheart. Don't worry about it. Don't lose any sleep.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I think, you think one more time would have done it? 5670560. Now, did we ever get that guy straightened out that wanted to go vote? Well, you don't keep your nose out of that hole, okay? God damn it. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello?
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good. Congratulations on being the sole voice of reason in this horrible town.
Yes, I am.
I have to tell you, it's just an amazing sense of frustration. I look at George Bush, and here's a guy trying to remember what he's supposed to think, as opposed to actually telling anybody what he thinks.
Mm-hmm.
He is such a concoction, such a fabrication of the media.
I mean, sometimes there are figureheads like Reagan, who, are movie actors, they're slick, they're good figureheads, they remember their lines real well, they're very glib. This guy's a figurehead who doesn't even do a good job of it. And every one of these campaign stops, he's been using the same half-dozen lines and cliches and buzzwords about Washington insiders and about the old Washington-style politics and the bickering and the politics of division. Same old crap. I mean, how could anybody buy into this? It's just a bunch of glittering generalities that mean nothing.
He's not even a one-dimensional candidate. He's not that deep.
No.
It's just unbelievably frustrating.
He's
That could be a close race even. That's just amazing.
I know, but at least it's looking up a little bit right now.
Well, I hope so, really. Can you imagine a Republican Congress and a Republican like Bush
No, I can't.
Really horrible.
Well,
I'll tell you, if that happens, most of the people who voted for Bush who shouldn't and believed all his advertising, that's when they'll find out what the truth is.
Okay. Good luck to us, pal.
Have a good day.
Muriel Cuomo pointed out last night, the last time we had that, a Republican president and Congress, 1956, when Eisenhower was in, and he made a very good point, and that is in 56, the Republicans weren't controlled by right-wing. He was very kind. He called them conservatives. But what he really meant was rabid right-wing conservatives, because he was, ticking off the names Tom DeLay and Trent Lott and yada, 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 Dennis Hastert. Rhymes with bastard. And that's what you're going to have, baby, which is a real good idea. You know something? Before the day is out, you still have some time. Good day to get down to that passport office. Or at least make a phone call, get your application. Get that thing in the mail. Il pasaporto. Molto bene. Or as it says in that spot, I'm sorry. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know the crazy Bush people up here in West Palm Beach got little children out on a busy corner out in front of a Christian school.
Oh, there you go. In front of a Christian school. Good. It's like those little Christians.
Well, not just out in front of a Christian school, but small children holding "Vote for Bush" signs next to a busy highway, stepping off and on the curb.
They don't care. Those kids are out of the womb. See, if they get run over, big deal. Just make a whole bunch more. But the fetuses are the only ones they care about. Once you're out, they don't care.
Can you imagine dropping your children off at school and finding them out on the curb, campaigning?
Or finding them out in the middle of the street in heavy traffic.
Yeah, that's the crazy Bush people up here in West Palm. That's all I've got.
How's the voting going up there?
Well, I don't see a lot of Bush people. I see out, on the corners. I haven't been by any voting booths yet, but out on the corners, all I see is Gore people.
All right. Thanks for the good news, pal.
Okay.
See ya. Get your little kids out of the street, all you good Christians out there. Cut the crap. Or those ads again. I'm so inspired when I read those ads, those full-page ads in this weekend's newspapers here. Would a Christian vote for Al Gore? 7 issues from a biblical perspective. These people need desperately to be put in an institution. They need to be put away. They don't understand that the rest of us don't care about their hallucinatory problems. People want to be left alone. That's what they want. Left alone. Like I said, D&H, do no harm. Leave everybody alone, and we'll all get along just fine. And if you want to be a nerd, if you want to be a retard, go right ahead. Just leave everybody alone, and you can be a nerd. You can be a born-again whatever the hell you want. You can even be like Jew Lieberman, but hopefully not. Oh, that's right. Shouldn't have mentioned him today. That's bad news. How are we doing that in Connecticut race? Oh. See, as much as it would be self-defeating for a Democrat like yours truly, I think it would be poetic justice if Gore and Lieberman win, and then the Democrats fail to control the Senate by 1 vote, that being the one in Connecticut, where the governor has been appointed a Republican to replace Lieberman. Now, what is this? Who got your vote today? What is this pull from? Oh, this is cute. Yeah, American Online. Like those polls make any sense? It says, looks like W stands for win. Sorry, your guy lost. Here's a AOL EnviroClen, whatever the hell that is. Pat Buchanan, 423 votes. Bush, 65,816. Gore, 44,898. Nader, 3,480, 2.9%. Other 848. 118,736 votes, and Bush has got 65,816. Now, are we going to believe anything, including our poll that we see on the Internet?
No.
No, because we already are onto that. All they have to do is put up any national poll on the Internet, and immediately 72 million Bush people are running on there like there's a fire in their pants. 5670560. Here's a mobile in Naples. Hello.
Hi, Neil. My girlfriend and I love your show. We try to listen every day. And last 2 Fridays, we went into Specs Music over here in Naples. And by the way, we are under 100 years old.
Okay, great.
And we live in Naples.
You're the one.
We both went into Specs the last 2 Fridays, and a 17-year-old counter kid said, the keychains were never shipped. And we've had about 1 million people come in and ask for them, but we never got them.
No, but they don't have the keychains. None of the Specs do.
Right, well, I thought you had said last Friday. And then the other thing I had was, I know sometimes you're thin on poll material, and I got a great one for you.
Okay.
I've been a professional waiter for about 20 years. I've worked everything from 5-star to bistros, and I think you could have a great poll on the world's cheapest tippers. And I can give you the 5 real quick headlines. British, the French, the Canadian, the French-Canadian, and Blackies. Man, I'll tell you, it's just, as a 20-year waiter with me, I've seen it all. I mean, you cannot imagine what they leave.
I think we did that back when we had that Ty Tony thing going on, but it's a good one to do again.
That was an awesome one. I just want to say we love your show, and the only thing I hope out of today's poll is that Pat Buchanan gets an asterisk. Can you imagine this campaign advisor? What do we get? We got an asterisk.
He's got an asterisk, that's right.
Airport, pal.
Okay, pal, have a great day. Hey, Pat Buchanan, I hate to break the news to you, but there's a big message. Bye! From everybody in the universe. 1,802 votes on our poll. So take that and shove it, Mr. Hotshot that sent me that poll before. Nah, like a bunch of little kids, you know. A bunch of little school kids in a sandbox. We'll get a lot of that tomorrow. If the Bushmeister wins. 1,303 votes for Gore, 72.3% in our poll here in South Florida, which is going to make the difference. South Florida will tip the balance in this election. In addition to which, see what this guy forgets, all of those votes from Texas and Oklahoma, and then that whole thing out there, that old Rocky Mountain area where he's got all of those Montana and the Dakotas and New Mexico. Well, he doesn't have New Mexico. Colorado, Wyoming, which is where Dick is from. What did I leave out? Idaho. All them Yahoo. In fact, if you look at the states where Bush is ahead, see, this is a real interesting way to judge this election when you try to analyze what America is all about and what it's become. Take a look at the states where he's ahead. I mean, really ahead. Here they are, Alabama. Probably use a little background music here. Yeah, Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, the most right-wing of them all, Arkansas. Did I say Arkansas? Oh, sorry. Colorado. Now, see, Colorado, I don't like to go into it. Delaware. Now, see, this is wrong. He's not going to win Delaware. I'm not. I'm going by the breakdown that this guy was hallucinating about, and may have been on target. Georgia. How's Lester Maddox doing? He's still up there?
Uh-huh.
Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine. He's not going to get either. That's wrong. Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Carolina, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, and Virginia, and Wyoming. Don't leave out Dick. And Wyoming. You know what? The one thing that those places all have in common? Yeah. Yahoo places. Yahoo places, as opposed to the West Coast, those three states out there, as opposed to the Northeast, as opposed to like Maryland and Delaware and Connecticut and Massachusetts and Maine and New York and Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin and Minnesota and Florida, or parts of it anyway. Should give you a real tip-off. See, that's why it's so difficult now for anybody who's 2 steps to the left of Attila the Hun to win the presidential election in this country, because we got a bunch of mugwumps here. Yeah, that's right. This is the mugwump country. All them people up there in Tennessee got like an extra thumb growing out of where their earlobe was supposed to be. All right. Let's pick it, little baby. 26 after 1 at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Why, my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I find we're going to wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We have no respect for it and drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Chupacabra, spooky ghosts, we slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Yeah, we were beanies and big buildings with an overpaid bills. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors that bother you like full of blushes to our views. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless spending on parades. My religion's better than yours.
27 till 2 at 560 WQM. The highly rated and award-winning Hank Goldberg show at 2. They're giving him that award, that Air, what do they call it? Air Award?
Yes.
Air? Oh. I thought I smelled something in the hallway. No, seriously, they got a whole bunch of people in here that give him the Air Award, and we congratulate Hank on that, even though, of course, see, I don't have to worry about it because they would never give me an award, and even if they did, I wouldn't accept it because it is what it is. It's a joke. You know, the other one is the, what is it, the Women in Radio? What do they call that thing? You know what I'm talking about?
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's another group down here, the Women in Radio, Media, whatever. And they give awards to people that suck. I like Sandy. Sandy used to get the award all the time. Here's the fact that says George W. has raised hypocrisy to new heights. He extols the philosophy of Christ, but where in his teachings is there justification to bestow generous gifts to the wealthy at the expense of the poor and others in need? To all the right-wing Bible-carrying hypocrites, read St. Matthew chapter 19 to 21. If Jesus came down and confronted George W., he would spit in his face. Yeah. Do it again. Okay. Okay, what do we got? 1,829 votes. It's funny how our poll seems to be so skewed in this one direction, so skewed up. With Al Gore with 72% and George W. with only 18 and Nader with only 4.8%. Here's a call from Gainesville. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's going on?
How you doing, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. You know, I'm sitting here in one hand. I got my passport in one hand and a ballot in the other. I'm just waiting for the results of this election. You know, and up here in Gainesville, I'll tell you, you should see some of the people up here. All these Bush supporters, they seem to be just all about image and really not about substance. And you got these people around campus here in the U.S. passing out Bush stickers and, you know, Gators for Bush and Gators want some Bush. And it just seems like they're all about the image of it. And they had George P. Bush up here speaking earlier. It was on Friday. And they're really trying to rally the Republicans because it's... Now,
let me ask you, when George P. was up there, was he like running around the dormitories looking for his girlfriend, screaming and running around naked, stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, he was probably squeezing it somewhere, too, you know. I mean, they try to get this image thing going on here. You got these girls and these Daisy Dukes and these, you know, these blondes, these flaky girls with these Gators for Bush stickers on there. You just wonder, you know, I thought about it. You kind of brought up earlier about the fact that if GW wins, you're going to have the United States legislature all Republican, and of course the Florida legislature will probably say Republican, and you're just going to have this regime, and it's just going to be, I don't know, man. I think I'm headed for the passport office today. You know.
Amen. Well, squeeze it tight, pal.
One last request, if possible.
Yes, sir.
PP Park and Gore does the McLaughlin if you have time.
Okay.
And just buzz for Bush.
See ya.
See ya.
What do you want?
The sign that used to say for Robbie went dark, and now they're calling it pro player park. Toss true to the loo, said it's time for a change. The new rules are you have to show up in your underwear, and no one ugly is allowed in there, so you'll have lots of fun checking out those funds. My zipper's flying down, so I can get my kick up when the game is over tight. Just like my good balloons back around over my bulging mouth. Now you can see a lot more at the game, since everybody is undressed the same, and you can look around to see what's hanging down. This is paradise bound. I never realized just how good it would feel being glad in my jockeys at the football field. Mr. Robbie is gone, and now it's BP Park.
Look at this oaks on that blonde, man. I'm going to start on this team, and I'm going to rap on it all year long. You jackass. I like guys. Come in and lay down on my couch. Well, all right. What's that?
I ate an 8 at the falafel bowl stand, and met the new team mascot underwear man. Poor chicks that stared at the fun zone up above, at their tunnels of love. I've never realized just how good it would feel being clad in my jockeys at the football field. Mr. Robbie is gone, and now it's BP Park. We call it BP Park. Let's make it BP Park.
137 at 560 QM. Here's a fax from Jamie in Plantation who says, I just want to say how much I love your show and yada yada. And why do the Panthers suck so much? Lack of talent, Jamie. Also, it says, can I buy the Best of Neil 2000 in stores or only via the website? In the stores, in specs everywhere. Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, even in Fort Myers and Naples, they got your Best of. Thank you, Jamie. God bless America. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T. See, that's another thing with that bogus poll from the internet that they said. I mean, it would be like my saying, oh, look at our poll. Gore's going to win a landslide. In South Florida he is, but I mean, you don't represent something as being what it's not. But it's part of the psychology. It's the pack mentality that they've been appealing to all along. Just like they did in New Hampshire. Did they win New Hampshire?
No.
They got their asses kicked big time by John McCain. Big time. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
First of all, I voted for Gore Lieberman. And secondly, about the guy that was talking about how him and a bunch of his friends went to vote on Saturday.
Yeah.
First of all, I think I heard something you can vote on the internet at some government offices, and I think that's the reason why he voted on Saturday, just to let him know.
You can vote on the internet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And if the guys voted on Saturday.
Okay.
So just to let him know. All right, and like I said, Democratic all the way, and go Gore.
Okay. See ya. Do you believe that, George? You can vote on the internet? No, not yet. Not yet on the internet. But who knows? Maybe there's all kinds of votes coming in. Who knows where they're coming from? Maybe that lady can call back again and tell me about how it was 3 and 4 and Buchanan, whatever. Just one more time. I think we missed it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line.
It's big, Neil. It's bigger than both of us.
Ah, it's so nice to be on cue. It's such a refreshing thing to do. The restroom in the fancy place.
Squirt.
Till all the mirror knows that way. All the ice takes the odor, it gives the aroma, that's what it's for. When I'm with her around, seeing on those cubes, I try to melt them all down. Like they're the enemy in wee war. I use my favorite strategic design by starting from behind until I melt the last one. Oh, and off the automatic I will flush. Oh, it's so nice to be on cue. That's something that only guys can do. The restroom is a fancy place. Till all the children knows that way. All the ice takes the odor, it gives the aroma, that's what it's for. Oh, it's so nice to be on cue. It's such a refreshing thing to do. Oh, it's so nice to be on cue.
That's sure. That's one of my favorite things about that Ruth Chris Steakhouse. God, it's what? Mandatory before every meal, before I sit down, I, so to speak, go in and take a leak, and always get there early when they've just opened and they got the fresh ice in the urinal, like tons of it. And you see how much of it you can melt away. It's like a contest. Yeah. And you're right. You like point in different directions, like a little over here, a little over there, and it's like a meltdown.
You like to melt it evenly or to make a big hole?
And all you women out there, you see, you may be able to strap one on, but guess what, ladies? Even with a strap-on job, you can't pee on cubes. That's right. Unless you got really strange posture. Okay, where are we going? No, seriously, it's one of the great delights at Ruth Chris Steakhouse. They got the best ice cubes in the men's urinals, and the food is great. Here's the Mobile and Tavernier. Hello.
Good afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
One thing that's really disturbing, and you mentioned it before, was with all these news stations and all these talking heads, and with all the facts about this guy, it's amazing that he was able to not answer any questions, as his advisor advised him of a couple of weeks ago. He's not answered any reporters' questions, and nothing's been done on the media about this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've given him a free pass.
I mean,
even forgetting about the DWI thing and about the fact he lied to the reporter in Dallas, just the thing in the military. I mean, it was on the front page of the Boston Globe. It's been in Paul Beghello's book for an eternity. It's on all these websites. It's not something that some crazy wild-eyed liberal made up, and yet they just don't care about this. I don't get it.
I don't either. It's very sad. But anyway,
I think this is the media's revenge for Clinton, and they're doing it vicariously through Al Gore. I think that's what this is.
Well, I found more information on your website thanks to Eric.
Great
than I
job,
found
Eric.
Anywhere.
You're right.
And there's another. I looked up another website last night. I was trying to find some information on Bob Barr. And
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's called Republicans Caught with Their Pants Down. Check it out. And when you people are done voting for Gore today, drive up to Georgia and get Barr out of there too.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks a lot, pal. And speaking of Bob Barr, what do you say?
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
Just take a look at that little mustache, and it'll bring a lot of things back to mind, you know? Lots of things. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, there's that idiot Pat Schroeder.
One thing we could come together on is that we really don't need our congressmen or senators or the president in our bedrooms telling us what to do.
Like I said, nice going, Pat. She just gives me the creeps, you know? She is one of the most... She always has that look on her face like somebody just farted real bad. Oh, God. That pain, like, ooh, yeah. Yeah. And that's what I think when I see her, exactly that same. Like, ah. What are we doing? It's 12 before 2 at 560. Let's go to Coral Springs. Hello?
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Just got back from Italy. And the acronym for this country should not be U.S. It should be SS.
Yeah.
Bad and scary.
Right.
Because the people over there are laughing at us.
Mm-hmm.
It's unreal. I have a friend of mine that I do business with over there, and we were sitting down talking politics and stuff like that, and he said, you know, the whole Clinton thing, they were laughing.
Yeah.
It was just a big
Although
joke to them.
they shouldn't be laughing at us about the election, though, because the Italian government changes as often as they change the underwear over there, you know, every couple of weeks.
That's true. But this whole thing today, I'm just... I think I have irritable bowel syndrome today.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I think at least there's a little bit of hope, though. Maybe not much, but it looks like there's a shot.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be this close.
I know.
I mean, it
should be a landslide.
That's the scary thing about it.
Well,
this should be one of the most lopsided elections.
But you can blame the public, and they do deserve a lot of blame because they're pretty dumb, but also blame, and the media, but blame the Gore campaign. I mean, for crying out loud, like so many people have said in the last few days, instead of dwelling on Social Security, which only panders to one demographic group, they should have been talking about it's still the economy, stupid, and taking, you know, credit for the things that have happened in the last 8 years and talking about the prosperity and are you better off now than you were 8 years ago, like they were saying before when Reagan came in. That's what they should have been doing, and they really ran a cockeyed campaign.
Yeah, but he did a lot of things wrong. He should have never picked Lieberman as
that goes without saying. That was it. And there's the hidden factor that we're never really going to know because nobody will fess up to it. But that's the hidden factor today is the anti-Semitic vote out there against Lieberman.
Well, I mean, I just what is he thinking?
In fact, when I saw his name on the ballot there, when I punched Gore this morning, I saw Lieberman next to it. I said to myself, "Oh boy!" I had to hold my nose a little bit.
Yeah, and about that ballot thing,
I was squeezing my mazooka.
How could anybody possibly think Buchanan was down at like number 8? He was like the 8th slot on the ballot.
Yeah. I don't know what these people are talking about. I mean, I had no problem at all. I mean, the fact that I didn't does make it so, but I mean, my ballot fit on the thing perfectly on the 2 pegs. Yeah. I punched the things and that's it. And I put it in that little thing and I handed it to the guy and he tore off his part and I stuck my thing in a box and I took my little sticker. Yes, I voted, and that was the end of that.
That's it. I mean,
I think these people are getting a little paranoid.
The scarier part about this guy possibly being president, and not only being president, but having all the people in Congress to back him, is the people that are out there voting for you. I mean, people, if you can't punch the right hole in the ballot, stay the hell home.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I got Il Mio Passaporto, and I'm squeezing it tight.
Well, keep your fingers crossed.
Okay.
And como se dice, I'm scared.
Ciao.
Bye.
9 minutes before 2 at 560 WQM. Molto bene, or like they say in that spot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Multi Benny.
Multi Bennies. That's what I think W's been taking, Multi Bennies. And that's why he acts like that.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Hi, this is Lance Pitlick, and you're listening to South Florida's #1 hockey fan, Neil Rogers, on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Florida Panther hockey star Pavel Bure talks about the old country.
I was 5 years old when playing for Red Army team. First time I missed goal against Stalingrad Sputniks. Coach Badenoff put me in small baths with water dripping on my head for 12 hours. Next time I miss goal, KGB raped my mother. First time I scored goal was against Siberian Sapmen, and fearless leader gave my family peace of me.
Watch the Panthers lose again.